I need to change my intro for the Curious Bunny because the other ones have got the other one has Penny Bunny on it, so that's why it cut off. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the live stream. I nearly didn't do this tonight because I'm not feeling too well, so I don't want to be on too long. But I thought, right, okay, we'll do it because I know we promised, and there's a few people want to call in. But I don't want to be on too long because I'm not feeling 100%. I'm afraid. I think it's the weather's totally changed. It's raining here and it's set my arthritis off. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the live stream. Let me just get logged in on my phone to the Curious Bunny. I've just shared this out on the Penny Bunny community tab. So if you've come over from Penny Bunny and it's your first time on the Curious Bunny, welcome to the channel of curiosity where we go down rabbit holes. Anything conspiracy, paranormal, UFOs, all sorts of shizness. We covered Freemasonry. We go down rabbit holes on here, so this is where we go a bit, we dig deeper. So I welcome everybody to the live stream. Just going to log in a sec and my other channel. I hope you all had a lovely weekend. Happy Daddy's Day to everybody. Oh, wait, I'm logged in as me. Hold on then. Let's sort this out. 18 likes. Welcome, everybody. Please hit the like or the dislike if you don't like what we do. It's okay. I won't be upset. And I'll pop the StreamYard link in a moment. So thank you so much for doing that, moderators. We've got subscribers only mode on. I think we'll put it in for 5 minutes. So if you're coming over from Penny Bunny, just bear with us, okay? We'll be so I've sorted it now because it said there was no slow mode on. How bizarre. If you're coming over from Penny Bunny and you can't comment, you need to sub for 5 minutes. I apologize, but we have to keep everyone safe here from trolls. The trolls are coming at us hard at the moment. Well, coming at me hard. So they'll do everything they can to stop us. Right then, welcome everybody. We've got a few moderators in already. Thank you. I'm not going to go through everybody because there's 65 people in, but I can see that we have a load of regulars and we have some new people. So welcome, Scottish Shona. I'm just going to give you a wrench, darling, because you had one on the other one. We have Jules C as well. You are a moderator on my other channel. Tracy Hughes. Did you used to go on UNN? I remember you. And then we've got a new person called Yamanu. Welcome to the live stream. Oh, the Wanderer. Are you the Wanderer? I'm confused. Okay, then. Stephen Hall, Jane, our lovely Jane, Ted, you know, outside it will do a hellos. Cosmic Water, if you watch on the replay, please go forward a few minutes. Cosmic Water in the house. We've got Yvonne, first time here. Well, thank you so much. We've got Pincho, we've got Jules C, we've got Scottish Shona, Tony G, me old mucker. We've got Kimberly, Cindy Turner. Yeah, happy Father's Day. Hello, sweetheart, the beautiful Jane, who's one of our super mods. We've got Stephen Hall in the house. We've got Steve, MG, Bailey Boo, Sao Un, I like your name. Alicia, hello, sweetheart. We've got John Woodmass, Manda Sky, Yvonne, Maltese, Pat Valentino, hello, welcome. Auntie Bev, our Ted, Vicky is here. Punch the Narrative, Julie. I wanted to give Jack that thing done. North Country Girl, Nikki Adams and Spud. And the Wanderer is here as well. So we've got Elaine, John, Dino, Sid. Hello, Sid. So Nicola Brinley. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the live stream. Maltese. I think I've covered everyone now. And we've got our Chartel as well. So there we go. Alicia. Oh, thank you, sweetie. How kind. Thank you, darling. Thank you, sweetheart. That's lovely and kind. Right then. Like 34. Gone Mad. Hello, Gone Mad 1 is in the house. So I'm just going to, I forgot to message the Hidden Underbelly, who usually helps me out with these. Hello, Jay. Welcome. Is that your, hello, Candice. Thank you to our lovely members who are on the other channel as well. Thank you so much. You don't have the same stuff over here. I can only give you the membership perks on one channel. So rather than you have to pay twice, which I've stopped, I've turned that off. YouTube wanted me to turn it on this channel, and I've said no. Hello, me, my love. Hello, Rach, and I've said no. So you're still members in my eyes, but you're just on a different channel. So I'm just going to find Mr. Underbelly. If you are around, you are welcome to join me. Paz is welcome as well. I'm not sure where he is. Hello, Millie. I'm just messaging you, Underbelly, if you're around. I'm hoping that we get a few people calling in tonight. To call in, all you need, hello Millie, hello darling SG, hello new sub. Well, thank you. Thank you, everybody. So we're going to be doing the call-in show. We're going to hope that people call in. Now, what you have to do, you have to click on a link. So I'm going to put the link in. Now, if you're new and you're not used to this, what we have to do, you can send the link straight on Messenger now, direct from StreamYard. How good's that? Hello, God bless the UK. What you have to do, Kimberly, are you the same Kimberly from my other channel with a new avatar, love? You have to click on the link. You just need a internet connection. You can do it on a mobile phone. It does work out better on a laptop, but it's not the end of the world. You can still do it on a phone. All I ask is that you please WhatsApp group. No, I don't have a WhatsApp group, darling. I don't know, sweetheart. That's weird. Have I sent something on here by mistake? I don't know. Where was I? Told you I'm not feeling great at all. Hello, Trek Matt. How you doing? So, yeah, I'm feeling a bit under the weather. It's you. I thought so, Kimberly. I'm just checking. So you click the link. You need to make sure that you turn off your YouTube tab. So if you're on YouTube, you come through StreamYard, Alan Edge, hello, my YouTube husband. You come through StreamYard and then you must turn off your YouTube link, because what will happen, hello, Kev, you'll get an echo. We don't want that. Echo. So I'm going to put the link in now. So all you have to do is click this link that I'm popping in here. Hello, Chili. How you doing? Good to see you. You click this link and you just come in and call. Now, I'm not going to be having a load of people on at the same time this time, because one of the complaints was that people were saying that people were talking over each other. Hello, free speech. How do I've starred it. I don't know if that pins it. Have I just pinned it? I don't know. Hang on. No, it's not worked. Hold on a minute. Let me just pin it. Here we go. So if you want to call in, click the link. Don't be shy. Okay. I know people get shy. All right. Things go wrong all the time. Thank you. I've just done it on my phone now. It didn't work on StreamYard. How you doing, Jane, darling? Yeah, I'm all right. I'm just feeling a bit under the weather. So my arthritis has set off a little bit and feeling a bit under the weather. So we have Jay Warren, who is here. He's I've not seen you before, so I'm hoping you don't porn bomb me.
No, I'm not going to porn bomb.
Oh, good. Okay. But that's what they all say when they porn bomb me. It happened a few weeks ago. We even had a chocolate starfish. It was bad. Anyway, hello. Welcome, Jay. Is this you? Are you Chartel's fella?
No.
Oh, okay. Because that's another Jay. Okay. How are you?
I'm very good. I appreciate your Philip Schofield coverage. That's where I found you from.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that. I've got some more videos coming up next week. So I've had to hold off on the other thing because I'm speaking to lawyers. So just bear with me on that. It's best to cover our backs because, we don't want to give them a way in.
Well, yeah, libel laws in the UK are pretty ridiculous.
It's insane because there's loads of other channels talking about it as well, like loads of other channels. So, then it's unfair, but there you go. So I'm just for now, I'm not going to do anything on that particular person, but there's still lots to come on Philip Schofield. I'm digging through some really old articles. So anyway, I won't talk about that now because we're on the Curious Bunny. Hello, Jules C. We have two people here. Jules C. Hello, darling. How are you?
I'm okay, thank you. How are you? But I don't know how to turn the. It might do an echo on my phone.
I can't hear an echo. Anyone else got an echo?
Are we all right then? I'm just on my phone and I didn't know how to do the YouTube turn it off thing.
do is, when you open your tabs on your phone, you just flick the tab off that's got YouTube on it. But you're okay. We can't hear an echo, and not that
All
anyone
right.
else, unless anyone
Good,
else
good.
can. So we'll go with Jay first because he came up first.
Yeah.
Jay, do you have a ghost or not? Any paranormal story? It doesn't have to be ghosts. It can be anything: aliens, UFOs, Bigfoot, even something moving or voices or anything that's paranormal. It's anything paranormal.
Yes, I do.
Awesome. Okay, so the floor is yours.
Well, one that I've told many a time on mine and other people's channels is an encounter I had. I think this was in 2018, so not that long ago, in Ireland, in Donegal in Ireland, and I was out on the balcony of this kind of apartment block I was staying at with my family, where my family lived. I was staying with them, going to visit them, and I was completely sober at this time, and I was going out on the balcony to smoke a cigarette, and this was in the dark, but it was a really humid Easter, because this was Easter 2018, Easter night.
Where was you? Sorry, I missed what you said.
I was in Donegal in Ireland. So this is
Sorry,
the
yes. So
Republic of
you were on
Ireland.
holiday, is that right?
Yes, visiting family.
Okay. Sorry, carry on.
Yeah, thank you. It's fine. But yeah, I was there visiting family. I was on the balcony smoking a cigarette. This was a humid Easter night, and just in the distance on the there's a fun fair on the front in this place called Bundoran. It's in County Donegal. There's the county, but the town's called Bundoran. So they have a fun fair on the front. It's basically like Blackpool almost. It's a lot like Blackpool in the way it is, if people have been there, or Brighton basically, but not as much like rides and
So
stuff.
it's
But there's
a holiday place.
yeah, very much so, very
My
much
pleasure,
so.
squirrel.
Yeah,
Sorry, carry on. Hello, everyone coming in, by the way. I'm sorry I'm not talking to you. Oh gosh, it's Gary. Gary's back. Is that you, Gary? Okay, carry on. Sorry, Jay.
Yeah. So there's this Ferris wheel in the distance, like not that far away from where I was, and like I was just, and at the top of it, basically there was this all black figure, and it looked like just all black, like it looked like a cloaked person, but not a person, just all black.
Where
I was
were
staring at
they?
it.
Were they floating, or were they in the apartment with you, or do you mean in the distance, sort of thing?
They were in the distance.
Wow.
And
were they floating then, or were?
It's hard for me to say because it looked like they were just standing there, but they may have been floating because of the distance would have been hard for me to really make it out clearly. But I know what I saw. It was just, and there was no like face, but it was almost like what you'd think a black hole would look like, almost like a black void, basically.
Okay.
And
that's freaky. Did anyone else see it with you? I'm not disputing you. Everyone, by the way, anyone that calls in tonight, we are all open-minded here, so don't be shy. No one will mock you. Trust me. The things that happen to me are crazy. So no one will mock you, and I totally believe you. And I think that everybody who has these experiences, why would you want to make this? You wouldn't want to make this shit up, would you? So
yeah, exactly, because you get judged. You know what I mean?
Exactly,
People think you're a wacko if you start talking about it.
So when I ask you questions, I'm not disputing you. I'm just asking you general questions.
I
Did anybody else see
I welcome them because it gives people more of an understanding of what actually happened.
Yeah. And did anybody else see it?
Not that I know of. You know, it wasn't reported. I looked in like media and stuff and like social media to see if like anyone saw it, but no. And it was weird because usually at that time it would be like it was late, but there'd still be like kids around, like drinking in the parks and stuff. And like that kept me up quite a few times the previous nights. But there were no kids that night. It was like a ghost town pretty much, and there made no sense why. You know, it's weird, almost like people may have known something was going to happen, but it's strange because it connects to other events. Because just not that far away on the same night this happened, just a few hours I think afterwards, after I saw this thing, there was rioting on in Derry and in Northern Ireland, and as there usually is, there was rioting, and a journalist was killed, was shot dead by kind of a stray bullet from the new IRA. And that happened within hours of me seeing what I saw. So someone's died in a chaotic situation. So, people who believe in like dark energies and things like that, believe like in omens and stuff like that, they kind of like manifest themselves before they kind of take hold. And that energy, I suppose, is something that they would be interested in. That's just my take on it.
So did the figure appear before? Sorry, did the shooting happen before or after you seen the figure?
After, a few hours after.
So the figure was seen, and then wow, that's crazy.
And this
Hello,
wasn't that
Tricia.
far away from where it actually happened. It was only like 15, 20 miles away, so not that far away at all.
Do you think it could have been? I know this sounds really morbid, and I don't mean offence. Do you think it could have been like death?
Absolutely. To me, that's how it felt, because I saw it and I felt depressed. I felt down on life, and I don't usually feel like that. So, and especially on holiday as well. It's an odd feeling to get that, and it's not a usual feeling. It's the only way I could describe it, was just misery of life. It's strange. It's almost like the Death Eaters in Harry Potter almost, but not to kind of trivialize it, but that's kind of what it was like, to describe it in any way that people could understand.
I understand. Yeah, that's really freaky. And I bet you didn't think to take a photo, did you?
I was too paralyzed with shock.
That's what happened.
You know what I mean? I was in a kind of a catatonic state. Like people talk about like catatonic schizophrenics, people who like are kind of fixed in one position. That's basically what I was like, because in my head, it's like I'm staring at something that, by everything I've learned and studied, couldn't exist, but I'm looking at it right now, and just defies all logic. I just didn't have the presence of mind to take a picture. I had my phone on me.
I totally get that. Hello, Leona. Adam, now you're welcome here. Yeah, Dementors, you are welcome here. But please be respectful. Right, you're obviously a troll. All right, we're not interested. I don't care whether Alex Belfield's better than me. I really don't give a shit. He probably is. I don't care.
Alex Belfield's not better than you. That guy kissed ass to Jimmy Savile, so
yeah.
He's got nothing to be proud of, and stalks a bunch of people.
Yeah, there's just some craziness going on here. But anyway, yeah, I'd just say, everyone, as long as you're polite, then that's fine. But please be respectful. Hello, Anne. So right, we're going to go with. Have you got any more stories, or can we go on to Julie? We have another person, so I want to do one at a time, so people aren't talking over each other. So
yeah, do one at a time. So if I've got more stories if you want, but like
we'll go for the next
someone else can go.
Want to stay on panel? We'll do a story each, and then we'll go back round again. Whoever comes up, is that okay?
Sounds great.
Yeah. So hello, welcome, Pincho. Are you okay to wait for Jules, or do you want to leave and come back?
Hi, I'm just testing my mic to see if it works.
Oh, okay.
I've never done this. Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear. So what we're going to do, Pincho, if you can like mute why or just don't make any noises while Jules is speaking, and then we'll go to you, and then we'll go back to Jay, unless anyone new comes in, so we can. Is that okay? Oh, he's done it. Okay, Jules.
Hi.
Jay, you're welcome to stay. Is that okay?
That's fine. Fine by me.
If anyone needs to drop down, just drop down. You can come back up. The link is pinned, so you don't need to think, oh, I can't come back. You can come back at any time. So we're going to go to Jules C, who has a spooky. Hello, sweetheart. She's got a spooky do story. Is it a ghost? Is it a?
It's a ghost story, and I'm like uber excited about being. I've never done this before myself, so. I'm dead excited to tell you.
This is awesome. I love new people coming up. Jay, just quickly, was it your first time on a live stream as well?
On yours it is, yeah.
On
but
mine,
I do my own, and I go quite to a few places.
Okay, well, so you're used to it then. So you're a professional panel. I call them, yeah, you're a professional paneler. Jules' first time doing this anywhere, so we're going to break her in gently, folks. Carry on, darling. Tell us your spooky story.
Okay, yeah, thanks. Hello, everybody. Thank you for listening, and your ears will go because I can talk for England, I can tell you. Okay, so I'm 65 now, and this happened in I have to get my dates right, 1976. I moved into an old block of terraces with my future husband. He was my partner then, and the houses were built in 1859, and it was very, very spooky. Just a little 2-bed terrace, 2 up, 2 down. And anyway, one night I sort of, whether I awoke or I was dreaming, you really don't know, but there's this tall old guy. I feel goosebumps thinking. Tall old guy stood next to my bed. He'd got a big trench type coat on and a hat, and to me he looked pointy nose type. He's tall. So I screamed, and then my partner woke up. Obviously, he nearly was like Garfield on the ceiling. And anyway, so I said, "Oh my God, I think I've just seen a ghost." And he's like, "Oh God," he didn't believe in anything like that until this. Yeah. And he said, "Well, what did it look like?" I said, "Oh, it was a bloke, a big trilby hat on, a big trench coat thing." And it scared me half to death. And in my stupidness, the next day I moved the bed to the wall. So I thought, oh, well, he's not going to get down the side of the bed. Well, they can float, can't they? But yeah. I have got a receipt for this one, which is even better. Well, for me. So years and years later with Facebook, I don't do it now, but when you go on like your market stall and this and that and the other, and there was this name called Slisher. Oh yeah, my husband said his name was Mr. Slisher, and he died. He was a next door neighbour, but he died before I moved in. And anyway, so as this lady, I think her name was Carol. Anyway, it was Slisher, which is a Polish name, which is not usual. It's not a usual name. So I messaged her privately. I said, "Oh," so I told her about this dream, and she went, "Oh my God." She said, "That was my granddad. He lived at 48 and we lived at 46. And I was like, I've got goosebumps thinking about it. This is so long ago, and I've never seen one since. But that image I haven't, and that image will stay with me forever. So I've sort of got a receipt, really. She's like, "Oh my God." And I said, "He was tall, he'd got like a pointy nose." I said, "Trilby hat, big coat." She said, "That's him. That was him, and he died before I moved in." Oh, I was just like, wow, I mean, I feel it's a privilege. I might never see another one. And that was, well, as I say, I was only 18, so it was a long, long time ago.
How long ago did he die?
I didn't ask her, and I can't remember now, because it was quite a few years ago that I got in contact with her. Maybe about 10 years ago, maybe. Yeah, it was about 10 years ago. I didn't ask, but she said he had died, and obviously my husband then, he said, yes, he was his neighbour, lived next door, and he died. So maybe not long before I moved in. Maybe not long before. The house was empty at that time. I never would stay there on my own. It was awful. It was so spooky. It was so spooky. Oh, and the only other one. It would
make me want to stay there myself.
I know.
I'd love it.
Well, I now I think I would, because my daughter's really into it. She goes on ghost hunts and everything, and I think now I'm older I would, but it blooming well scared me off to death. It really did. And the only other thing that happened in that house was, just thinking about it, like a tumbler glass that you'd put on the side of your chair, just for orange or whatever, and it had got a thick base. So it wasn't a big one, say like a whiskey type tumbler. And my husband was there with me, and this time it was an afternoon, not even evening, and it smashed, and it left the base it just smashed the top, left the base on the chair. So that was the only other sort of spooky thing in that house. But when my chap used to work nights, I used to have a friend to stay. Honestly, it was really scary. So so that's my tale.
Did you ever try and talk to it?
Yeah. Did anything? I know you did not say you didn't see it again, but did anything?
No.
No, like nothing.
No,
Like
didn't see him again, and I didn't.
what about
I do
mum?
believe it was him though, because it's just such an unusual name. But with her saying, "Oh my goodness, yeah, it was my granddad," I was like, "Yeah, definitely." And after that, my husband did believe, because he was a real non-believer, black and white, no grey, and he will tell that story still today, and he's like 70 this year. So yeah, spooky. And also, just on a little subject, I live near Marbury Hall in Anderton in Cheshire. Anyone wants to check that out? They've demolished it now, but the Marbury Lady, it's a very spooky story, brilliant place. But
Is
in
that the
the
one who
70s when
haunts
they
a
knocked
road?
things.
Sorry.
What? Sorry.
Is she the one who, like, the white lady who haunts a road?
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
no.
it. The Marbury Lady. Yeah.
I've had several family members who have had encounters with her.
Have you? Wow. I spent my summers up there because it was an open air pool, wasn't it? There's an open air pool up there. I've spent summers up there, and we used to run so fast past the hall because that was scary. But unfortunately, in the 70s, backhanders, it got knocked down. So sad. It would be National Trust now. But yeah, she rides on a white horse, doesn't she? Apparently, I've never seen her.
Yes, my mother's seen her, and like basically my mother, my grandmother, and my grandfather were all in a car together and saw her at the same time.
Yeah. Wow. Well, that's lucky that you were up and you know that place, because not a lot of people know, obviously, because it's been demolished now. But yeah, it's gorgeous place.
Yeah, I grew up around like St Helens and.
All right. Yeah. Not too far away from me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant. Oh,
we're getting a full panel now. So thank you, Jules.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I was just excited to even get on. I'm like, I've never done this before.
Thank you so much for coming up.
Yeah, brilliant. And thank you. I love your channel. I absolutely love your channel. And those bunnies and Minnie Wigs. She's a no, isn't she?
Minnie Wigs, a little god.
Oh, well, thank you for listening, and take care, everybody. Thank you.
And if you
see a great story.
Great story. Yeah, thank you so much, Jules.
All right, you're welcome. Bye all. Bye.
So now we're going to go on to Pincho. He's muted at the moment, so hopefully I'll unmute. Right, welcome to the new people coming up. So we've got Shona after Pincho, then Yvonne, then Nicola. Is that okay? Are you guys okay to wait?
Hi.
Hello, darling. Are you okay to wait for the intern, or do you want to go and come back? It's up to you. If you don't mind staying and just muting, and then we'll get. Oh, we've lost Nicola. Hello, Yvonne. So we're going to go to Pincho, then Shona, and then you, Yvonne. Is that okay, darling?
Yeah.
Brill.
Okay.
Thank you. So we're going to go to Pincho next, because we're doing it in turn on who comes up, just to be fair, and then we'll go back round to Jay if Jay's still here.
How's my
Pincho,
volume? How's
go
my
ahead.
volume?
It's fine. We can hear you.
That's good. Right, there's an old mill, right, where I live, and it's called Farewell Mill. So that's quite a spooky name, isn't it? It's Farewell Mill.
Right? Yeah, because it's like
it's
spooky because it sounds innocent.
And it's a water mill, so they have a big wheel outside, and it crushes all the wheat and that, and makes corn, makes flour, right? So it was in the newspapers, and they was doing witchcraft at this mill at night, right? And they'd been caught, these people, and they'd been like killing animals and all sorts of things in there.
Like ritual stuff, you mean?
Yeah, rituals and all this, right? So me and my friends, we all had motorbikes, right? And we said, we're going to go there in the night tonight, right? And have a look what they were doing. So we went with torches and all this, right? And you had to climb up to the second floor, up a ladder, right? We went in there and had a look around, and it's pitch black dark, and we had a torch. And on the wall, they'd put 666 in red, right?
Just rewind a little bit. So how had you heard?
It was in the newspapers, in a local newspaper.
Are you a Brummie, by the way? You sound.
I'm a mechanic in Canada.
Yeah, I thought so. Well, not a Brummie, but you're from the West Midlands. Okay. Fellow West Midlander.
Yeah, and they was doing this witchcraft, and they put 666 on the wall.
So it was in the newspaper, and then you went looking for it.
We went to investigate it and have a look around, right? So we went in there, and it's pitch black. It was scary because it looked horrible
Red.
inside because it was all cogs
What?
and wheels and things
No.
like where they crushed all the corn and that. So
No.
it was scary looking. And they've got candlesticks on this big fireplace, right? And it was
I'm
like
just
on
gonna
the
mute you, Ron,
floor.
that's it. Okay.
Yeah, and on the floor they'd painted a big pentagram in red with all the star and everything on the floor. And there was different rooms. So we went in the next room, and there's like straw on the floor and a hook
What?
hanging off the ceiling, right? And they'd hung something on there, and there's all blood all over the floor.
What?
And they'd
Real
hung,
blood, like?
yeah, they'd hung an animal or something up on this hook, and it was all blood
What?
everywhere. So
So
we was getting more and more freaked out looking at these things in the dark, you know.
where
And
was
then
this? Sorry, what was it called?
Farewell Mill.
Farewell.
Yeah,
What
Farewell.
what
And it's
what year was this around? Was this
this was about 40 years ago, this was.
and it was in the local paper. So I'll do a quick
Yeah,
search. So Farewell Mill and it was like
yeah.
Satanist stuff.
Yeah, and if you look at the mill, it looks really scary as well because it looks like I don't know if you've seen that Black Sabbath album with that old white building and a witch
Yeah.
outside.
I
It
see
looks a
that
bit,
album cover. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. It looks a bit like that. It's
Is
kind of
that the War
building.
Pigs one?
Yeah, now it's Black Sabbath. The
Yeah,
first
from
one
no, the Black Sabbath for the song War Pigs by Black Sabbath.
it's their album. It's the
Yeah,
Black
yeah.
Sabbath. It's called Black Sabbath album, and
Mm.
it's got
I
right.
know what you mean.
So I'm looking at this blood on the floor and thinking, oh my god, they've killed an animal or something in here. And all my friends was like looking around and everything, and then all of a sudden, I had this baby crying in the you know that room with a pentagram on the floor,
Mm.
right? There was a baby crying in there. It's a bit like we was on our own, but we could hear a baby crying in that room, right? It was really freaked us out. And everybody, like, it was on the second floor, but everybody, like, well, I mean, the first floor in England, but some people call it the second floor, you know, one ladder to the next floor. And they jumped out the window, right? All my mates were jumping out and panicking and getting on their motorbikes and riding away. And I was left in there on my own. And like, because I was in the room with the hook, and they was in the other room. They was nearer the hole, so they all jumped out. And I had to get to I was running, right? And I could hear this baby crying. It was like really scary. And I jumped out the window, and like I got on a motorbike. And then, you know, the street lights outside on the road, they were all going out, like level with our motorbikes. So if your bike passed, when your bike
It sounds
passed
like a movie.
yeah, it sounds like a movie, I know, but all the lights behind us were all out and all the lights in front of us were all on, and it was following us, this like trail of lights going out. It's like really, yeah, that was like the freakiest thing I ever saw in my life.
Was the baby an actual baby, or was it like?
No, we couldn't see anything. We just
So
heard
it
it.
was a ghost. It wasn't like it was actual baby.
We only heard it. We only heard it, but only if that's what they hung on that hook or something like
Oh
that.
my god! Was there any missing babies in the area?
I don't know. They didn't say what.
Usually they take them from orphanages,
I
don't they?
anything.
That was really spooky. I've got pictures of that mill.
Is it still called Fair? Is it so? It was called Farewell Mill. Was it spelled F-A-R-E or F-A-I-R?
F-A-R-E. Farewell, and it's in a place called Farewell. That's why it's called Farewell Mill.
I think I found it. It's F-A-R.
Yeah,
America.
Now England.
Trying to find it.
It's by Lichfield, near Lichfield.
And is it still there now, you say?
Yeah, there's people living in it now. It was derelict when we went in. I thought I might knock on their door and tell them, but I might freak them out.
No, I wouldn't. You'd say the life out of them. So it was a mill. It was an abandoned mill.
Yeah, it was abandoned when we went, yeah.
Then they've turned it into like flats.
Yeah, the like the hole we jumped out of. That's a nice big window. That's a big window now. That is where we jumped out. Just
to interrupt the panel, and I'm sorry about this. I don't normally do this, but I've just found a photo, so I'm not going to dwell on it too long because we have to be fair. But is this it here?
Yeah, and like that window. You see that side building at the back?
Yeah.
Right? You see those two big windows? Yeah, you see those two big windows? Yeah, that we jumped out. Like I think it was the second window along. We jumped out of. So you see that first one?
Yeah.
That was a hole where they used to pull up the straw and everything up through the hole.
Yeah, it says here it was basically a working mill between 1910 and 1940.
Yeah.
It was a water-driven core mill and dwelling house described uh, in an 1844 auction notice as newly erected. So it must have been like derelict for quite a while. So yeah, I think what we'll do,
And it's that
I think
road.
that's
You see the
something.
road there. That's the
Yeah.
road where all the lights were going out down there when we went on
Right.
our bikes.
Did you call the police or anything?
No, just
Oh.
no. We just pulled over and stopped and had a cigarette.
Hello,
Yeah,
David Banner. Sorry, I keep missing your streams. So I think what we'll do, we'll leave that there, but I think that's something that we could maybe investigate for a future stream, like when we're not doing an open panel, because we've got.
Yeah,
Yeah, we'll
dead
look
quick.
into it, Julie. I'll agree.
Sorry, dead quick. The police actually have a guideline, and they won't actually admit this, but they do have a guideline on actually how to deal with situations like that. You know, when there's like rituals and things going on, they actually take a standoffish approach. You know, they prefer not to move in, mainly because of the chances of it being prominent people who are actually doing it. You know, people who they don't
Yeah.
want to arrest. You know,
Because
that's
yeah,
why.
it does
So
go
that's
on
why you're
politicians.
probably right not to say anything, because they probably wouldn't do anything anyway about it.
No,
yeah.
but
But
what I
I mean,
meant
it
was
was in
that
the papers, so they did arrest them. They must.
Oh,
I mean,
really? That's
yeah.
good.
I mean, if you're sacrificing animals, that's going a bit too far,
it was
isn't
in
it?
the newspaper, so someone else
Yeah.
must have seen it then.
It's a local paper. It's not a proper big paper. It's like,
Yeah.
one of them small papers that you have in your
Yeah,
villages
yeah.
and that.
Well, what I'll do after, excuse me, we'll look into this. Maybe me and Jane could get on the case, and we could maybe do a show on it. And if we do, maybe you could join us again, Pincho, if we do that in the future.
Yeah, I can do
Um,
that. Yeah.
yeah. So what we could do a bit of investigating. If there's nothing to find, then unfortunately we can't find anything. But now I find the mill. We
Yeah.
could hopefully dig out the original article. Thank you very much for joining us,
You can
Pincho.
tell it looks spooky already just looking at the pictures,
Just
doesn't
looking
it?
at it, yeah, it does look
Yeah.
spooky, and yet people live there. So that's a fantastic story. Thank you so much. So we're going to move on because we've got people waiting. Have you got? And if you want to wait, if you've got another story, all I say is that you have to wait in your turn, or if you haven't got another story, you can drop down. It's up to you, Pincho. Oh, he's muted. If you want to drop down, just hit the leave button, or you can wait. It's up to you. Shona is next. We're working through as quickly as we can. I always drop down. I appreciate everyone for waiting in the queue. And I appreciate Jay as well. Jay's waiting until everyone's done their story so we can do a second story. Jay, if you have to go, just drop down, mate. I won't be offended. Right
Thank
then.
you. Yeah, no, I'm fine to stay. I've got nothing to
Okay.
do.
Brill, thank you. Right, Shona. Are you Scottish Shona, or is this a different Shona? Oh, she's still muted. You're muted, darling. Thank you, free speech. Hello, Funky. Hello, everyone
Hello,
coming in.
it's me. Yeah, it's Scottish. Shona.
Hello, darling. Ah, well, thank you for coming in,
Oh.
sweetheart.
Am I still muted?
No, we can hear you now. I love your accent. Hello, Ellen.
No,
Hello,
no problem.
darling.
I think there might be a bit of a delay though. I can hear myself about 10 seconds ago.
Oh, I hate
Anyway.
that. Have you got YouTube tab open, sweetheart?
Okay, so I'm just going to go through. First of all, Penny, I just wanted to say that everything that I've seen you doing over the last few weeks has been absolutely brilliant. I only found you those 2 weeks ago, and I've been watching your channel ever since. And I love your bunnies, and thank you for that, because I think it really helps people, and it's a really good community that you've got. And anyway, so I'm going to say this really quickly because it could take quite a while, and also it feels a bit of an anticlimax after that last story.
That was a freaky story.
What the animal? Okay, so when I
You're
was
a little bit
a really small
quiet, so I'm
girl,
just going to
I
turn your mic
always
up a little
could
bit.
hear and feel and see things like that weren't apparently visible to other people. My parents got a little bit worried about me. I was adopted as a baby, so my parents are my adopted parents, and I think they thought that there was maybe something psychologically wrong with me. So when I was about 10 years old, We're not religious at all, by the way. We're not a religious family, but it got so bad because I would wake up with night terrors. I'd have that thing where I had sleep paralysis, where I couldn't move. And even my mum would come into my room and she would try and move me, and it would be like I was awake, I was completely aware, but I couldn't move. My body was like just stiff. And then eventually it would calm down. So they got a priest to come to the house and do a kind of blessing. And I remember that there was at one point, and he was holding my hands, and I was really uncomfortable about it because I, I was just a young girl. I didn't really know what was happening. And he sort of did this blessing all over the house. And all I remember is feeling this sensation of something going round my legs. It was so scary, and I remember trying to pull away from the priest. I was trying to pull away from him, and he wouldn't let me. He wouldn't let me go. He was holding on to me while still saying stuff, and I was really freaking out. However, I have to say, after that, things did calm down for me up until my gran died. Now, I was really, really close to my granny. And when she died, it was terrible. The whole, the family was very, very upset. But for me, it was quite a big thing. And when I started to, into my teenage years, I was very, very, very interested in all of these kind of things, probably a bit too interested. And I started, going to see tarot readers, mediums, people that said they were psychic. And most of the people that I saw it was a complete letdown. They were not the real deal. They said just a bunch of nothing. Until I met this one guy, and his name was Eugene, and he was Irish. And this was in 2001. So I was 20 years old. And it was, the internet wasn't a big thing at the time. It wasn't, you couldn't really go online and look up people's names and details and things like that. I think I had a mobile, but, it was basic. So
yeah,
I made the appointment with the guy for the following week. I drove to his house and I was not prepared. I was not prepared for what happened. I walked in and he didn't use cards. He didn't use anything. He sat down in front of me and he looked behind me. He was looking behind my left shoulder. And the whole time that I went in, all I wanted was some kind of connection with my gran. I wanted to hear from her. But the first thing he said to me was, he said, "Who's Peter?" And I think I remember just the shock because I wasn't expecting it. And Peter was a friend of mine who was killed a few years before, and immediately I burst into tears. I wasn't expecting it. He carried on, and at one point he did say to me, "Do you want me to stop?" Because I was a complete mess. I could not stop crying. And he said, "Is there anything that you wanted to ask me?" And I said, "Well, yeah, because I really came here to see if I could connect with my gran." And he said, "Honestly, there isn't anybody like that here. But when you walked through my door, I could hear somebody breathing really, really heavily. So I don't know if she's with you all the time. And if she is, then I presume she died of respiratory failure," which she did. But that's not the end of the story. I'm going to fast forward 6 years. My friend and I went to Australia. When we took the flight back from Australia, we went from Sydney to London. At London, the airline lost our baggage. So when we got our flight to Glasgow, we had to wait. It was 4 a.m. We had to wait for 6 hours to get the baggage brought up from London. And it was you could still smoke outside. There was no smoking restrictions, and I'm a smoker. My friend and I went and sat outside, and we were just talking away. And this little tiny woman, Glaswegian woman, so friendly, so lovely, who worked in the airport, she came out and she sat with us and she said, "Oh, where have you been, girls? What have you been doing?" So we started chatting away. And then she turned around and looked at me and she said, "Are you upset that Eugene didn't get to speak to your gran?" And I swear to God, I didn't know this woman. I didn't know what to, I looked at her and I said, "Excuse me?" And she said, "You know Eugene, right?" And I said, "I don't know him." I said, "I met him once." I said, "How do you know that I know him?" And she just smiled at me. She just smiled at me.
Wow.
And she started to tell me about my life and the music career that I was going to have, and this, that, and the third. And again, I was just crying. I wasn't expecting any of this. She said to me, "You're so desperate to hear from your gran, but the reason that there isn't a message is because your gran is fine and so are you, and you don't need a message from her, and you just need to kind of accept that and go on." She said, "But what I'll tell you is that there's a song that your granny loves called In the Mood by Glenn Miller, which, by the way, was the song that my granny used to play when I was a little girl, and she used to dance with us, and that was her song. So the
Wow.
lady said, you're going to hear this song in the next 3 days, and that'll be your granny's way of telling you that she's just there."
You're going to
And
hear
I,
it the
again,
next what?
walked
Sorry,
away, I wasn't expecting
I
it,
missed
so it was
that
more
bit.
of a shock.
Did she
And I
say you're
thought,
going to
there's no
hear
way
it?
I'm going to hear this song unless I deliberately go and play it, because who plays that song nowadays? And I flipped
Yeah.
through the channels. This was maybe on the second day. I was flicking through channels trying to find something to watch. I never
Oh,
used to
okay.
watch Scrubs, but it came on, and I thought, there's nothing else to watch. Within 1 minute of it coming on, the song came on, and I couldn't believe it. And I remember that whole experience was so bizarre, from having met this psychic medium who turned out to be the most tuned in. The man told me things that I would never even tell anybody else. There's things that I've never told people that have happened, and he knew. And then finding this woman, or not finding, but meeting this woman years later at an airport, who obviously seemingly was some kind of psychic as well. It really frightened me, Penny. It was really
Yeah.
scary, and it sort of made me sort of take a step back from it all, because I thought, I can't deal with this. I was getting so upset all the time. And that kind of led me to go into astrology, because it's a little bit, more scientific. But that's one of my stories that I just wanted to share, because it's so unbelievable. I know it sounds completely made up, but I absolutely swear it is 100% true. And even to this day, I still can't believe it. I still can't believe that this lady knew that I'd seen this other guy. And it was just so spooky and so creepy. But this guy, Eugene, also, I want to say, has kind of disappeared off the face of the earth.
Really?
I can't find him. Nobody else can find him. He's just gone.
Can I
But
ask
thank
you a
you.
quick
Thank you for
question,
letting me come
darling?
on and share my story.
Can you hear me, sweetheart? Can you hear me? I don't think she can hear me. Can you hear me, Shona, love?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Ask you a quick question. So your gran, was that
Sorry,
your...
I think there's a delay, Penny. There's a bit of a
Oh,
delay.
God. Okay. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. So you can't really have a conversation, but you can just speak. Okay. I can hear it now. Have you got a YouTube tab open? She's got a YouTube tab open. I'm going to kick you and then come back.
I have on my other device.
Can you turn it off in the background and then...
Right. Okay.
Can you hear me now? I was just going to ask you a couple
Is that
of questions.
better?
Testing.
Yeah. Is that better?
I think so. Testing. Yeah, I can't hear any echo now. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, has it gone at your end now? Is your echo gone? For you?
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. Just a quick question. That's an amazing story. Your gran, was that excuse me, was that your adoptive parents' gran, or did you ever trace your real parents and that was your biological gran? Just out of interest.
It was my adopted
Yeah.
gran.
So it's
I
your
did
gran,
trace
yeah.
my biological parents when I was 16, and that was an absolute disaster.
Oh, right, okay. I just wondered because that I do hear stories. I don't know if you felt that, but I've heard stories about people that were adopted, and they seem to have more
Yeah.
psychic connections, and I don't know why. Because I don't know whether it's because their brain is trying to
Oh, really?
tune
I
in
didn't
to
actually
where
know
they're...
that.
Yeah, I've heard it a lot. We've got a few people that come on and they're adopted,
Right.
and they were adopted at a young age and they have no memory of before that. but then they have like dreams of things,
Right.
and they seems to be a bit of a pattern where we've had people that were adopted at a young age, and they seem to have more paranormal experiences. And I don't know whether it's just a coincidence
Right.
or what. So yeah, it is a lovely story, isn't it? I suppose it must have gave you some comfort that you.
No, there's no such thing as coincidence, I don't think.
Yeah, must have given you some comfort.
It did actually. It did. In
Yeah.
a very strange way.
Yeah, because you know it's your nan. Right, we're going to move
Yeah.
on, Shona. Have you got any
Thank
more
you, Penny.
stories for
Thank you.
after, or do you want to wait for the next round, or have you got any more stories for after?
I'll just stay on. I'll go back onto the. I'll just stay and go back onto the chat.
Okay, sweetheart. So
Thanks, Penny.
All right, darling. Thank you. We're now going to get on to Yvonne. We're going as quick as we can to get round everybody. Thank you for being patient, Yvonne. Oh, she's dropped down. Thank you for being patient, Yvonne. If anybody else wants to come in, just click the link and you'll just be sat in a queue. So you can stay in chat and then click the link when you're ready. Yvonne is next. My voice is going. Yvonne, welcome to the live stream, darling. How are you?
Hiya, Penny. Hope you can hear me. It's the first time I've ever done this.
Oh, yeah, we can hear you loud and very clear. So thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm really into spiritual stuff and I've had a few experiences myself. But the reason I've actually called in tonight is actually because of Jay's story. Because the west of Ireland, it's famous for, have you ever heard of the Banshee?
Yes.
Yes, and I've also heard of... it's the Morrigan as well as famous. She allegedly appeared to Culker Lane. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing his name right, but I'm probably butchering it. But the Irish king, and she appeared as an old woman, and he looked down upon her, and then she cursed him, and then it's the blood of Culker Lane. That's where the curse almost comes from. I guess that's why it's so paranormal. But I didn't know that there was such a paranormal presence there until after I left.
Yeah, well, especially in the west of Ireland. My family are from the west of Ireland, and growing up, I've heard the Banshee, and they normally come to warn of a death. And it's funny because I was typing in chat, and as soon as you said it, I went Banshee, and then you said about the death close by. And then I was kind of going, yeah, it was definitely a Banshee. So I was just really calling in to sort of say that, to say about this legend of the Banshee. And it's very alive in the west of Ireland.
Yeah, very much so.
Can I
sorry.
No, I was just going to ask a quick question. Sorry. The west of you said about the west of Ireland. Is that where you were, Jay? I don't know the
yeah, he was in
geography of
Donegal,
Ireland.
which is on the west of Ireland.
So is it Donoghue? Did you say?
I think I was on the Glens coast. I was in Bundoran. That's where I was.
Is that hello, Lauren? Is that on that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Okay. I was just asking. Hello, welcome everyone coming in. Welcome Jack Frost. Welcome to everyone. I've missed you coming in. We're having a paranormal phone in. It's been fantastic. I love these, and it's great to have more and more people calling in. So, Yvonne, so have you ever heard of? Have you ever seen or?
I've never seen one, but I've heard my father and other members of the family who have said they've seen it. But they've seen what it can come in different sort of guises. But the guise that we have sort of been familiar with is almost like a grey woman, long grey hair, just almost like a ghostly figure.
Is it the equivalent of is it a jinn? Is it in the Quran? Is it the Quran, or is it in the Indian religion? Is it a jinn or a jinn?
The Quran. Yeah.
Like a demon? Is that
it's not a demon? Well, I don't know whether it's a demon. It's kind of it's folklore, and it is this sort of, it's almost like a ghostly figure that is coming to sort of warn you of a death in the family.
Yeah,
right.
I had a reading about it, and the clairvoyant that did the reading, she did the tarot reading. She said that it was more like an omen of death based on the cards, as opposed to like a demon,
Yeah, exactly.
Because that's what it felt like.
as well? Don't they scream or something?
Yeah, they can. You can sometimes hear the banshee scream rather than see it, but it sounds a bit like a fox screaming.
Oh my God. Well, my next story that could also be related to that, because I in relation to that, I heard screams in a place where there shouldn't be anyone or anything really.
Don't tell us yet.
Well, yeah.
We want to hear the story after
Yeah,
Nicola. So don't tell
But
us.
that's
Ruin
lovely,
it.
Penny. I'll drop off now. But you know, as I said, I have
I
loads of stories
appreciate that.
myself,
That's
but
really
not tonight. It's been a very good stream, and there'll be loads of good stories tonight. I love Shona's story as well. But I'll pop off now, and hopefully I'll speak to you again.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Yvonne. And thank you for all the support as well that you've been giving me on
Oh
my
no, love
channel.
your channel. You're doing
Really
brilliantly.
appreciate you, darling.
Okay, bye-bye.
Take care, sweetheart.
Bye-bye.
Lots of love.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Interesting. So Yvonne's family have experience of the banshee. Right, David Sharp, welcome. So what we're going to do now, we're going to go to Nicola, and then we're going to go back to Jay. And then if anybody else wants to come, you'll be going after Jay now, because I think he's waited long enough. So hello, Glasgow Date. Cindy, darling, Cindy Turner. The link is pinned, but I'll pop it in again for you, sweetheart. But the link is pinned. So if you want to call in, you have to click the link and then just go in the queue. Right then. Yvonne is lovely. Yeah, Shona, I didn't realize I had a channel. I've just subbed you with my Curious Body. I'll sub with my other one as well. Right, Nicola is back. Nicola had a story last week about the UFO. Welcome. Can we all welcome Nicola? Welcome back to the live stream, darling. How are you?
Hey up, Penny. Hey up, everybody. Yeah.
Hey up, duck.
Hey up, me duck. Yes, I'm very well. Yeah.
Good to hear you,
darling. Before I tell the story that I was going to tell, I just want to talk about Shona for a second.
Okay.
Because Scottish Shona, who's just told her story, she left a comment the other day on the channel or whatever. And the night before, she couldn't be in the chat because she'd got to go to work. Now, she'd said one time she was in a band. So I thought, I'm going to go to a channel because I'm in a band. Or she said she sang. Sorry, I beg your pardon. So I thought, I want to see if she'd got anything up there. So there's Shona playing the piano, doing her cover versions. So I just recommend, first of all, everyone go over to her channel. But as I'm watching it, I'm thinking there's orbs flying all over the place as Shona is singing. So her grandma, who she's just been talking about, is like on her videos. I think she's got about 10 videos. She's doing cover versions of songs. She's absolutely brilliant. So I subbed to her the other day because I thought, wow, she's just great. And she's got these orbs flying across while she's singing. It's her grandma, I'm telling you. So I just thought I'd say that now because she's just said about her music and her song.
Do you see stuff then? I just want to say just quick sorry, David. I knocked my phone and I timed you out by mistake, but I've undone it, so you're not timed out. It was my total mistake. I was trying to leave a heart emoji. I was trying to hit the hearts because you can hit hearts now. For Shona, and I ended up knocking my phone, so I apologize. David, you're free to comment now. My mistake. Okay, Nicola, so you're the lady who called in a couple of weeks ago, aren't you? You're in Spain, aren't you, darling? And you've seen the
UFO,
I saw over the mountain.
Yeah. So what I'm ringing up about today, this evening, is
you said you had some more stories, didn't you? Excuse me. Sorry, carry on.
Where when I lived in England, in my last place, I lived in Nottingham, and the last job that I had, I was a healthcare assistant for CAMS, which is Child and Adolescent Mental Health Services, and I worked at a place called Thornywood. Now I think it's been demolished now, and the place is somewhere else. But anyway, so I worked there for a few years at Thornywood, and everyone talked about how haunted it was, how spooky it was. It had the most creepiest vibes to it, and I don't know when it was built, but I know at one point it was apparently used to put soldiers bodies in during the war. So was the Nottingham Ice Stadium. They were used as morgues. So anyway, people had said like they'd heard all sorts of things at Thornywood, because so sometimes we did night shifts because it was like a hospital for kids from like the ages of like 10 until like just before they turned 18, basically.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we had some staff, you know, you could, I mean, I'm into ghost hunting, those sorts of things. I'd already got an EMF meter, got a dowsing rod, I'd done ghost hunts before with people. But anyways, it's certain nurses, because I was just a healthcare assistant, so there were some nurses that you could, when the kids were in bed and everyone, you know, it was all sorted, when the staff nurse did their night security check, James, one of them, him and I, we went off and I'd got my EMF meter, and I've actually sent you the video. So the video is about 7 minutes, and I know one probably can't listen to it this evening, but in the gymnasium at this place, there was a gymnasium. So we're in the gymnasium, and it was over 10 years ago. I was recording on my BlackBerry. James had, he always had gadgets, so he might have been like one of the first iPhones. I don't know what they were. I didn't have one. And I had my EMF meter. So we go into the gym, and this was between 3 and 4 in the morning. And in the gymnasium, there's a huge refrigerator. It's stainless steel, and there's showers that go off the gymnasium. And there was a table tennis in there, table tennis table. Anyway, so James and I are in there, and I'm saying, oh, you know, is anybody there? Is anybody there? And when I can't remember. Oh yeah, so when I ask is anybody there, first of all, the needle on my EMF meter and the noise is spiking. It's making those, you know, those noises that EMF meters do. And then I'm asking again, you know, if anyone's there, and it's like going woo woo woo. Anyway, I ask it to knock on the table tennis table, and as I say, oh, I'll shit myself if you do. When you listen back with headphones, you can hear the knocking as I'm saying, oh, I'll shit myself if you do. You can hear the knocking back. Anyway, so we go further down into the gym, and we're at the bottom, and it's just the most depressing place. It feels like death in this place. So I ask, I say, oh, you know, can you make the fridge come on? And the fridge comes on. Now, I don't know whether that is the timing of when the fridge was going to come on or anything.
Where was this, David? It was my mistake. I knocked you off. You can comment. I undone it. I'm so sorry. So what was that, David? It was my mistake. I knocked my phone. So whereabouts was this? Sorry, this was in the care home then.
Yeah. So Thornywood was a hospital for kids with mental health problems, and in the evening there was a day unit and a like there was where kids came with problems, and then there was like kids who were like long-term anorexic. We had loads of anorexics, and they'd be there, you know, living there basically. And within the building there was this gymnasium, and there was a point where I used to teach ballroom dancing in this gym, but in the daytime, and we used to go, oh my God, it feels like someone's hanging themselves in the showers. It was the energy in this room in the daytime with the lights on and everything felt like you're on a haunted island. It was horrendous. But there was loads of other sort of menacing things that had happened within my time there. Like one of the doors off one of the kids' bedroom, it was on Christmas Day, came off. I mean, you cannot lift these doors. They're heavy, you know, heavy doors.
Came off?
Yeah. Yeah. There were things, it's I mean, if the kids would, you know, if someone said, hey, you know, who's closed my fucking curtains? And you'd go, oh my God, someone must have done it. You couldn't, you know, there was all sorts of sort of trickstery things that happened. So anyway, so in this building on a night shift, you had to go round the building to make sure everywhere was locked up, and it was just spooky. It was just like you just kept looking behind you, and so in the gym in particular. So when we came out, because there was still so there's a point where, you know, I say to James, who's with me, I say, you know, you ask, and he say, because I said, oh, I thought someone was there, and he asks, and the EMF meter's like going, woo, woo, woo. I mean, it's going crazy. So we're like, and I think that was when I'd asked for, I said, you know, can you make the fridge come on? It goes boom, and you think, oh my God,
Wow.
you've got to get. So we leave, and as we're leaving, I went so cold. It was like a chill cold that I've never experienced. Anyway, so we leave the building, the gym, and we're in what do you call it, hexagon thing shaped, and the corridor, you can go straight down or left back
Not
to the
pentagon
unit.
shaped.
Yeah, it was.
Really? That's
Hexagon.
interesting.
No, hexagon. It was hexagon.
Oh, a hexagon. Okay.
So we go down to the corridor, and I had worked at the same place, but as a administrator. So I knew the sort of building, and there was a toilet that was off to the offices. And in that toilet was a where, because James and I we carried on down there. There was a compartment in the toilet that they would put a body in there. If someone had died from what it was used before, or a coffin, you could fit a coffin in there. So, you know, we were in there. We didn't record this. We were in there with the EMF meter. I can't remember what happened in there. We went back up to in the post box. So there was an old post box in this corridor. In this post box was on like a yellow old piece of paper, lined paper, like old school book paper, written in pencil. It said, "Dear Santa, please buy me a pencil sharpener. I'd like a pencil sharpener for Christmas."
And is this at the same place? Is this all? Is that your
this
job?
is in the this is in the same corridor where we'd just come out, because for some reason, I don't know whether I've got any, I can't remember filming when we were in the toilet where the coffin bit was. So, and in the corridor was
dogs.
I know, it's because my fella's just nipped out, and he just wants to go with him. Anyway, so in the same corridor, we're walking back towards the hexagon shape, and now we're walking back on ourselves towards the unit, but we're going, oh my God. So there's a kitchen just off to where, before we carry on down the corridor. So we go into the kitchen, and this is about, I don't know, it must have been about 20 to 4 in the morning at this point. And I'm playing back on my BlackBerry what we had just recorded. So I keep saying, oh, you know, is anybody there? And the meter's going off on the recording, and where we were in the kitchen, my EMF meter was just on the chair, and I was near the kettle, and it was going off, and I was going, oh my God, James, it's with us. So we get back to the unit, and the other thing that we'd heard prior in the evening, the lounge where the kids normally were in the evening, there's a television, and from the lounge there's a games room, and there used to be a pool table in the games room. So I was sat in the games room, in the lounge, waiting for James, and you walk through the games room, you lock the art room door, you just have to, there's like a way that they do the security check. So I was waiting, and I was thinking, I can hear someone playing pool. I could hear the pool balls. Now the pool balls were in the office. They're not allowed to be at the table because we had some kids that were quite violent, and they'd throw them. So I was sat there, and when James first came out of the office, I thought, oh my God, I was like, James, I can hear the pool balls. I heard the pool balls early, you know, about 1 o'clock in the morning it was. So anyway, so I have sent you that
Did you
video.
send it me on Facebook?
No, on Telegram. I've sent it you on
Okay,
Telegram.
so I'm really behind. I've got literally so many messages and emails, and I'm not ignoring anybody. I just need like an hour to just sit down, because every time I go through them and I start replying, and then another load come in, and I get really, really behind. So if you know, I'm not ignoring anybody. If I don't reply straight away, I'm so sorry, but I am getting through it. Yeah, I'll grab that, Nicola, and I'll upload it, and then we could watch it on the next show.
Yeah, well, the other thing is, because of how whenever we did, I didn't video them all, because I thought I could get into trouble here.
Yeah.
So the other thing that I did, I mean, I'm a keen photographer, so I would take photographs and say, I'd take a photograph, but I'd take like 3 or 4 photos. So if there's any light reflecting, and I'd do these on my break, I'd be outside having a fag, and then I'd go, right, stand near the bench if you're there. And I'd take photos, and there's like an orb at the bench. I'd ask them to go near the door. And there's one photo that I've got, and it's what I think it is, are the soldiers that were there when it was a mortuary, because it's like the way these orbs are lined up. And anyway, so after this night shift, and I was like, even at like 5 o'clock in the morning, it was maybe just getting light, and I'd go stand near my car, and there'd be an orb on the photo near my car. So when I got home, I was wide awake. I was like wired from, you know, doing. I did loads of them on night shifts when I was on my break. So I got some bubbles, like blow bubbles, and I was blowing the bubbles, and I was saying to the spirit, I was like, this is how I see you on this device that I've got. And I said, so when I blow the bubbles, I want you to be near the bubbles. I want you to stand near the bubbles, so to speak. So I've got photos of the bubbles and orbs. And I've also got a photo, like a sequence of photos, where this orb is, I can only describe it as kind of like, it's like stretching out and go. When I took 8 shots, and it's just like it elongates. But yeah, I would, if people want to see the video, it's really worth it, because that is, I did get responses. I am a bit irritating by saying, is anybody there? And obviously there is, but it's like I didn't kind of go any further. We were so spooked by the responses that, and like I say, in this gymnasium, it felt like the life had been sucked out of you. But you know, people say that there's you know, when there's like kind of mental health, high energy in those sorts of places,
okay,
they're quite.
Yeah, sorry, I was just answering David. Yeah, I'll get them uploaded, and we'll watch them on the next one. I'm only up for another 25. Yeah, last Saxon, if you call in now, we'll fit you in quickly. Right, I'm going to move on to Cynthia, because she's been waiting patiently.
All right.
Nicola, if that's okay. Yeah, and Jay's been waiting as well. You what? Sorry, sweetheart.
I'm just saying thanks.
No, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Very, very, very spooky place, it sounds like, doesn't it? Cindy, darling, are you still with us? Thank you so much for waiting, everyone, tonight. Been really patient. And Jay's still waiting as well. So Jay's going to go after Cynthia. Cindy, darling, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Thank you so much for waiting, sweetheart.
That's okay. No problem. Mine is
you.
Not very long. When I was about 13 or 14 years old, I was at my girlfriend's. They had a summer home out in the country, and her and I and her brother, we were out on, they had a pier, and we were out there fishing, and something came. It was just getting dark, and something came like zigzagging through the sky, and it was shaped like a triangle.
Wow.
And at each point of that triangle, there was a red light. And when it got over top of
Oh, your
us,
audio's gone a bit funny. Are you on your phone, sweetheart?
no, is that any better?
It's just a bit crackly. I don't if you got a headset on or you on your phone.
No, I'm on my iPad.
Right. Sometimes it does. What you're getting is what my phone does. It's really annoying. I don't know why it does it. It just gets a bit crackly. I don't know. It's try. We'll try again. So you can
Okay.
just ask you just quickly. What's you don't have to answer. What state are you in? You don't have to answer though.
That was in when I lived in Baltimore, Maryland, but I'm living in North Carolina now.
Right. Okay. I just wondered because some states have got more sightings, haven't they?
Yeah,
Have
I'm
you
gonna.
got your YouTube app open at all on your iPad?
Do I have? No, I don't think so.
No, because that can affect it as well if you have like your YouTube open. It's really strange. It's crackling. Oh, you haven't got a headset, have you, at all? You could
Yes,
plug
I
in.
do.
You do. That should sort it. If you want to just grab your headset because I love UFO stories.
I'm getting them right now.
We'll just wait. We'll just hold on for Cindy. She's going to go and grab a headset and hopefully because we can't really hear you very well at all, sweetheart.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really it'll probably be hurting people's ears, unfortunately. And I do really want to hear. I love Cindy's accent. Cindy's lovely. She really is. Been very supportive. We can, yeah, maybe they are listening. Do you want?
Okay.
Oh, here we go.
The
You've
wrong
got your
one.
headset on.
Let's see here. Bear with me. I grabbed the wrong ones.
I think what we'll do, Cindy, I think if you drop down, because sometimes that sorts it out, drop down, get your headset ready, and then click the link back. And while you're doing that, we'll hear
Okay.
Jay. Is that okay?
All right. Okay.
But please come back.
Oh, I will.
Because it usually sorts it out when you go and come back.
Okay.
And if you can get your headset, and then you're not under pressure then. So you
No
nip
problem.
down,
Okay.
come back.
All
Thank
right.
you, darling. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
See you in a minute, darling. Right, okay. Sorry, Cindy's going to come back. I love UFO stories. Jay has got another story. If anyone wants to come up now, though, you will be after Cindy because she's waited patiently. So when Cindy comes back, she keeps a place in the queue. And then if anybody else wants to call in, you're welcome to. If you've got any spooky stories, it can be anything from Bigfoot. You're out, David, you're fine. It was my mistake earlier. I knocked my phone. I'm really sorry. Hello, Carlos. Hello, Rocket Roy. So, welcome everyone coming in. Hit the like or the dislike. It's okay, but we prefer the likes because it knows that you enjoy the content. Jay has got another story. So, Jay, what is your other story?
My other story is I was in rural Shropshire. This was probably 2020 or 2019. I'm not entirely sure. And it was storming out and raining really badly. And I was outside smoking a cigarette in this kind of lay-by close to where I was staying, this kind of isolated cottage house. And I was renting on my own. And basically, this woman and her son were coming past me, and they were in like summer clothing, and it was around November time, around when I was there. They were in summer clothing, and it was storming out, and I just got up and moved away because I didn't want the kid, because it was a narrow kind of little cut through where I was sitting. I didn't want the kid to inhale the smoke as they came past.
Yeah.
So I got up and went back to the cottage and sat outside there. But as I got up to go back, I looked back at them, and where they were, it looked like they were in a kind of a ray of sunshine. Where they were, it was light, but where I was, it was dark and grey, and thundering and lightning sort of thing. So I didn't think much of it, but as I was sitting there outside, I was looking out the window, and they didn't pass for at all. I couldn't see they didn't pass at one moment, and it's very, very unusual. And it just makes no sense because it was in the middle of absolute nowhere. So to me, I rationalize it mainly as a glitch in the matrix sort of thing, where I've kind of looked into a sort of parallel universe where, because the clothing was different as well. The clothing was kind of antiquated, like it was from almost the 2000s, and the early 2000s as
Really?
well.
So do they literally walk? Cindy, try again. Just it was device not connected. Please try again. So you were walking along. Was anybody with you?
No, I was on my own.
Right. Hello, Gail. So did they make any eye contact with you?
Yeah, they saw me. That's for sure. They saw me, but they didn't turn or anything. They were. The last time I looked at them, they were walking this way, and
You can come back
that
up,
was
Pincher.
basically it.
Yeah, sorry, I am here. I'm listening. Pincher, you're welcome to come back up after Cindy. You're very welcome to come up. So I've never heard of this before. And did they just? Hello, Cindy. We're going to get straight on to you now. I'm just going to let Jay finish this bit because Cindy's been waiting. Thank you, sweetheart. So Jay, so what happened then? Did they just disappear?
I just didn't see them again. The last time I looked at them, they were walking towards me in this kind of ray of sunset, and it looked almost like a portal almost. But I didn't really think about it too much till afterwards. You never do in these circumstances because it's too. Even though I'd already seen what I'd seen in Ireland, nothing ever really prepares you for these encounters of any kind, but defy logic and things like that. Because this was another type of thing to me. This wasn't really supernatural or paranormal almost, but it was supernatural for sure. Because it defies like logic and science and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't really, because some scientists would support what I'm saying in that there's an existence of a multiverse. Some astrophysicists and things like that, people in the extreme end, like the most revised scientists would, some of them would think that is possible,
That's
the ones
crazy.
and why I think it's also possible is because it was thunder and lightning, and there's quartz in the mountains in Shropshire. Lots of quartz stone, and that's like a conductor of spiritual energy. So I guess that could have acted as a conductor to open up a kind of portal from this world to another universe. And there's a lot of history in that region of occultism, and historically that's kind of a part of the UK where Christianity never really took hold.
And in Wales as well, there's a lot of it there.
Bordering Wales, it's literally bordering Wales. When I was there, I walked from like across the non-existent border to Wales, to Welshpool for the day, and then walked back. It's literally right there. A lot of people around there are Welsh, and have kind of come over because it's not like that great of a distance, and obviously there's free movement between England and Wales.
No. I love Wales. I'm going to get back onto Cindy, and then
I'll jump down in the chat if that's okay.
You got any more stories, Jay, for after Cindy?
Let me think.
Have a think. Stay there and have a think, and then you can always come back. Nikki's come up as well now. Just quickly, really quickly, because I know Cindy's waiting. Don't suppose you ever looked into whether any families had died and it was actually residual energy and not a portal thing?
I've looked into like I guess missing people and murders around that area. And there
was nothing.
Nothing really fits the bill. The only person of note who's ever disappeared around there was this woman who was an anti-nuclear campaigner, but she was just killed in a burglary gone wrong. There was nothing. Lots of different people were implicated in that case, like some people who are actually open Satanists within the UK. Some of them were implicated, but they had solid alibis, and also the guy that they got for it, they have his prints, and he actually confessed to it and said he shouldn't have done it, type of thing. So maybe he was put up to it by someone else, maybe he wasn't, but there's not that evidence there, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to get on to Cindy now, then Nikki, and then Pincho again. So let's continue. Hopefully Cindy's got her audio. So Nikki, if you're okay to wait till after Cindy, who's been so patient, and then Pincho.
I'll drop down back into chat if that's all right.
Okay.
Great. Thank you very much for having me up.
No, you're welcome, Jay. Thank you so much for your stories. We'll be going on for another half an hour, and then we'll be coming off. So we'll try and get as many in as we can. We've got Cindy next. Cindy, thank you so much for being patient. Hopefully,
no problem.
Oh, it sounds good. It sounds good.
Good.
Brilliant.
Mine isn't.
Thank you. Yeah,
really
can you start
long
again with this UFO, because
yeah,
I couldn't quite hear you. So you carry on. So this is in
Okay.
Baltimore, yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
It's about probably 13 years old, and my girlfriend's family had a summer home. Well, they had it all year round, but we were out on the pier, her brother and I, fishing, and it was just starting to get dark, and we noticed something in the sky, and it was like zigzagging back and forth, and it was the shape of a triangle, and at each point of that triangle there was a red light, and when it got over top of where we were, it stopped. Well, naturally we took off running, and it just took off through the sky, like, I mean, really, really fast. And we actually were not the only ones that saw it, because it was summer and there were other people in their backyards, doing whatever. And they saw it too. And we never did find out what it was. But here where I live in North Carolina, is a hot spot for spotting UFOs. My sister was back probably about 6 months ago. We noticed in the sky, it was just a round, like, ball shaping thing, and it was white.
Wow.
And there was never nothing there before, and it stayed there for about four nights, and then it disappeared. Now, last weekend, they actually had an alien festival.
Is that where? What's that be? Is that where you live now, or back where you seen the
No,
triangle?
this is where I live now.
Oh, okay. So you
They
have,
had,
yeah. Isn't Cindy got a lovely voice? So you seen the triangle when you were in Baltimore. Did anybody
right.
else see it as well?
Yeah, some of the neighbors saw it too.
Oh, did it make the news? I'm guessing. What was it? A long time. You were only 13, you say?
Yeah, and I'm 65 now, so
Hello,
that's
Pegasus.
eons ago. But
Excuse me.
if you go on YouTube, there's a video, because there is an official UFO landing pad here, and there's a video about it on YouTube.
And that's you're in North Carolina now, is that right? Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
So,
Yeah.
so did you say you've seen one here as well?
We see stuff all the time here in the sky, because this area where I live is a real hot spot for seeing stuff in the sky that can't explain what it is. So, but if you go to YouTube and put in landing pad Bakersville, North Carolina, the video will come up about the landing pad, and they have a big telescope set up where you can go there at night, and
That's so cool.
and
So,
look in the sky. They have a fire pit, so if it's chilly, you can start a fire and keep warm. And
so when you seen the oh, she's gone. Cindy, when you said that you've seen the the triangle one that was over Baltimore. Did you say
Mm-hmm.
you've seen one where you are as well in North Carolina? Did you say you've
Yes,
seen
ma'am.
two? Okay, so just tell us again what the second one was. I missed some of it.
It was just a bright round light,
Like a ball, yeah,
and
like an orb.
it didn't move. It was in the same spot every night for about 4 nights, and then it just suddenly disappeared.
Wow. Do you so you've
Weird.
seen hello JJ. So you've seen a couple then. So um you seem to have like a knack maybe for them.
Well, you know, I I believe something's out there,
Mm,
cause twice for something that is unexplained, and it's different. It's not only here; it's different parts of North Carolina. I mean, you can research it about um, hot spots for
yeah.
UFO sightings, and North Carolina is right there on the
I
list.
think we'll do that. I think we should do that. When we do another UFO stream, we'll be looking at hotspots. There's one in Wales, in the UK. I think the Brecon Beacons is a hotspot. So North Carolina, you say, is a hotspot.
Mm-hmm.
We have Nevada is a hotspot. So I do think that this will be a really like we can all disagree on where UFOs come from. Like personally, I think they come from under the ocean or from. Oh, you in Pennsylvania now? Oh, thank you, hon. I think they come from under the sea or across from Antarctica or from maybe Hollow Earth. But
Mm-hmm.
we can all agree that there are UFOs, whether we believe that they're aliens or government. Thank you, babe. Government or whatever. I think that there's no one who doubts that UFOs exist. So I think it's definitely a stream that we should do, a UFO stream, and maybe get the
Mm-hmm.
belly on as well. Um, Definitely. So we've got more ideas for streams, Jane. So thank you
The
for that.
Well, actually, I want to tell you about one other thing real quick.
Okay,
There's a
darling.
place here. It's called Brown Mountain Lights.
Brown
I
Mountain
live in the
Light.
mountains in North Carolina. I mean,
So
it's
cool.
the closest city, big city, is an hour away from where I live. But there's a place called Brown Mountain Lights. If you go there at night, it's an old coal mine. If you go there at night, then there's nobody living down there. There's no houses, no nothing. But if you go there at night, you can see lights down in there, like lantern lights, and
Yeah.
nobody has ever been able to explain where those lights are coming from. They speculate that it's ghosts from the men that had died in that coal mine.
So the place is called Brown Mountain Lights, or
Uh-huh.
it's actually called that.
Yeah, Brown
Yes,
Mountain
Cindy's
Lights.
amazing. Pegasus is in
Probably.
the chat, so we love
All right.
Cindy. We love Cindy's amazing. Cindy had my back a while ago, and there was someone we won't mention who was really causing a lot of trouble. And Cindy was very supportive, and yeah, she's fantastic. JJ, I thought you was a guy because of your name, so wrong of me to just assume. Hello, Terry Knowles Band again. But you're a lady, aren't you? Apparently, so apologies for that.
Well, I'm
Um,
gonna hop off of here and let the next person
voice
come
keeps
up.
going. Well, thank you, Cindy. And if you've got any more stories in the future, please come again. Maybe a ghost story.
Well,
Has the battery gone out of your
I
smoke
believe
alarm?
there's a ghost in my attic because every
Oh,
now and then I'll hear footsteps or like something's running across the floor, and I don't know what it
wow.
is, or it doesn't bother me, whatever it is, so it's friendly.
It could be a mouse, a rat, or it could be a ghost. Who knows? Have you got an old? Is
No,
your house old?
this is footsteps. It's not like something scurrying.
Yeah,
This
I know
is
what you mean.
actual footsteps. Um,
That's creepy.
I don't think it's
Oh, she's gone. I think your smoke alarm batteries have gone. That mine
What?
does that. It's bleeping at you to let you know. Is that what it is? Can you hear a bleep?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, that's my smoke alarm. The battery
Thought
needs to
so.
be changed.
Yeah, that's what I just said. Yeah, because it's telling you the battery's. Hello, Nanny again. Your
All
battery,
right,
yeah, mine
darling.
does that. It'll drive you nuts until you change it. Yeah, it's Cindy's. I could tell. Hello, Jeffrey. Right, then we'll get on
I'll
to
leave you
Nikki.
then.
Yeah, thank you so much, Cindy. Thank
You're
you,
welcome.
sweetheart. You got some batteries. Make sure you get that changed.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Take
Oh,
care,
that's so
everybody.
polite. Thank you, darling. Thank you again for all your support.
You're welcome, Penny.
Take care, darling. Speak
Oh,
to you
you
soon.
too. Bye-bye.
Lots of love. Bye-bye. So we're going to get on to Nikki next and then back on to Pincho, if that's okay. Pincho, are you okay for a moment to let Nikki go next? Hopefully he's saying yeah. I can't hear him. Hello, Lady Lulu Bell. I'm new to the channel. Well, thank you. Did you come over from my other one? We're now going to get on to Nikki. And then we're going to get on to Pincho. So yeah, we love we love Jane. We love Cindy. I'm used to saying we love Jane. We do love Jane as well. My voice keeps going. Okay, Nikki, you're up next, sweetheart. Can you hear me? I think Nikki's left the building. Is Steve being naughty? Nikki, darling. If Nikki's obviously, she might have gone for it. She might be on the loo. Oh, there she's here now. Hello, darling.
Hiya, can you hear me?
Yeah, hello, sweetheart. How you
Sorry,
doing?
Spud keeps walking around, so I turned it off.
Ah, well, it's okay. Well, thank you for being here, Lady Lulu, love. I thought you might have nipped off to the loo because we were waiting for Cindy. You're next. So have you got a spooky doo story for us?
Yeah, well, I was in a car with 4 other people.
Yeah.
And we were driving down some country lanes. And we all screamed and said stop to the driver because we all saw a person in the middle of the road.
Wow. Can I ask you where this was? Because this happened to me once. Whereabouts were you?
Going down a country lane in Devon.
Mine was in a country lane in Somerset. But yeah, carry on. That's just reminded me.
We wasn't that far from Somerset.
Wow. Okay, yeah, carry on.
So apart from the driver, we all screamed and we stopped the car because, you're going to hit this person. And then there was a massive bang and we're all like, shit, you've hit him. So we phoned the police because we were that adamant that we'd hit somebody. We got out of the car, we searched the car, searched everywhere we could. Couldn't find the person.
Oh, he's gone. Sorry, carry on, sweetheart.
Couldn't find this person, phoned the police. The police.
Did you hit them? Did you actually
We thought we did. We generally thought.
Did you feel anything or did you just go straight through?
No, we felt a bang. We generally thought we'd hit somebody. We phoned the police. The police came out, searched the area, thought we was all on drugs, so we all got drug tested. Nothing. But the car had a massive dent in it.
So, no. Wow, really?
Yeah, but the police searched and said if it was an animal or anything, we'd have hit it. There would have been fur in the car or there would have been blood on the car.
Yeah.
But there was nothing, just a dent. And yet everyone in that car swore blind that we'd hit somebody.
Wow, that's insane.
So yeah, and the other one I was going to say, I don't know if I said it last time, is I had major surgery and my dad passed away not long before I was due my surgery. And I was heading towards him and he turned around and he said, Mum needs you more, and sent me back again.
Really? That's crazy. I just want to say, Vicky, the treaties have just arrived from Amazon for the bunnies. Just to say a massive thank you to Vicky. It's just come today and Al's just bought it in. He went, it didn't come till quite late tonight. So thank you so much for the treaties for the Bunsters from Vicky Starbird. How kind. Thank you, darling. Right, so Pincho's gone again. Come back, Pincho. So that's crazy because you wouldn't, going back to the car thing, you wouldn't ring the police unless you really genuinely thought you'd hit something.
Yeah,
You know?
we rang the police because we honestly thought we'd hit. We could see this past. It was like someone was walking in the middle of the road.
Did they look like? Because I'll tell my story in a moment.
Just like literally like someone was walking in the middle of the road. Like,
what did they look like? Because I'm going to tell my story actually.
it's hard to.
How long ago was this? Sorry, just out of interest.
6 years ago. Get off, Spud. Sorry, Spud.
Hello, Pincho. Mine was about, gosh, I was with my ex. Mine was about 1997, and we were driving a Breen in Somerset,
Yeah.
and we were coming down a country lane, and there was a lady in the middle of the road, all dressed in white, looked like a white nightie or something, like a bit like a night dress. I'm going to get to your Pincho if you can just give me 1 sec. I'm just going to quickly tell this. And we were driving back, and we both seen this person in the middle of the road. And my other half at the time, he was driving. He swerved to miss this woman, and we nearly went into the ditch, but we just about managed to not hit the ditch. And we both, as it stopped, we both looked round and there was nobody there. So I got out the car, because if you would have crossed the road the way she was facing, it takes you into like a small wooded area and then the beach. There's literally like a few trees, and then there's sand dunes, and then you've got the beach. So I went into those woods and there was nobody there, and I was calling out, "Are you okay?" Because I thought that it was like maybe someone had escaped from hospital, a mental hospital, because she had like a nightie on. And I thought, why would anybody be wondering in the middle it was about midnight in the middle of the road? I thought, have they got dementia or something? And there was nobody there, and we both seen it. But I remember just before I met my other half back, I think it was in 1994, he was in that same area, and him and his mate seen crosses on fire in the field, and like hooded figures going around the crosses. He said it was so freaky. Really, really freaky. So it is a very weird area. There's a lot of paganism there. Right, Nikki, you're very welcome to stay, but I want to get on to Pincho because he keeps dropping. You're very welcome to stay if you've got any more stories after.
No worries.
Okay, well, thank you for your stories. If you've got any more, you can wait on after Pincho, Nikki, or have you not got any more?
I've got loads, but I'll let other people talk.
Oh, well, you can stay if you want while Pincho goes. It's up to you, sweetheart. Totally up to you. Kimberly,
get off because Spud's making.
Okay, darling. Well, thank you so much.
Right, thank you. Bye.
Thank you, darling. Take care. We love Nikki. Right then, we've got Pincho back, and Kimberly's got a story. Kimberly, please come up. Don't be shy. People have done so well tonight that we've had a few stream virgins who have never been on any stream ever, but there's some that have been on other streams, but not this stream. So thank you, everybody. Pincho, who's I'd say the scariest story of the night, is back. Pincho, what's your next story, mate? It's your time to shine, and we can't hear him. Oh no. Oh no. Blackjack, hello, how you doing? Yes, Snoop Dogg only joined YouTube this morning, so he's just joined YouTube and he just happened to stumble upon the Curious Bunny channel. Interesting. Pincho, how are we doing, my friend? He's not muted, so he's obviously, it's not like he's muted himself. So two of us were camping. Dr. David Bull, if you've got any spooky stories, join us. Pincho, hello. We're going to go another 15 minutes. Has Pincho been abducted by aliens? This is getting rather concerning. Pincho, are you okay? Maybe it's because he told his story about the Satanists and they've come and got him. Run off with him. Yes, Jane. I think Snoop Dogg is a complete virgin, not just streaming. I'd say a YouTube virgin. Break him in gently. Snoop Dogg, if you've got a spooky story, you should come and rap it for us. Be very honoured. Gone to the loo. Maybe he has gone to the loo, but he hasn't muted himself, so we need to make sure that he washes his hands. When it comes, Snoop Dogg got that radar, can sniff them out like a bloodhound. Huh? Okay, Snoop Dogg. Okay. Oh, he's gone. Maybe he'll come back, and then there's me and myself and I. Well, thank you, David. Maybe he'll come back. So there's just me now. You've got 15 minutes, guys. If you've got any more stories, hit the link. It's pinned. Join us. If you don't, I'll be forced to tell one of mine that you've probably already heard before. Yeah, how did you find us, Snoop Dogg? In the vast world of YouTube, you stumbled upon us. We're very honoured. I do like Snoop Dogg. He's a very good rapper. I like his older stuff. Tupac sent me. What, from Beyond the Grave? Where's Dr. Dre these days? Amazon hacked. What are you saying? Sorry, Amazon hacked. Personal details hack, says Terry Knowles Band again. Really? Wow. That's crazy. I grew up in a street that was haunted by something denomic. I can't say that word. Says Lady Lulu. Come and tell us then, sweetheart. Don't be shy. Do you remember Dr. Dre? Do you remember that? Nothing but a G thing, baby. Do you remember that one? No, shut up, Pen. I'm struggling now, guys. I'm going to have to tell you a story. So I've got a couple of stories. So we've seen that ghost in the middle of the road. I told you last time the first ghost I've ever seen was a woman and walking in the middle of the road with my ex at the time, D. Monica. What else? I seen my granddad when I was 12, 13 on New Year's Day. He passed away the night before. Oh, God, my voice is going again. Excuse me, hold on. Oh, we've got Kimberly. Hold on a minute. I seen my granddad when he just passed away. I didn't even know he died. He was in a reflection in the window, dressed in his army gear, and he looked really young. Hello, Kimberly, love. And I didn't.
Hello.
Hello. Oh, Pincho's back now. Hang on a minute. We're going to give Pincho one more chance. Because that's all right, Kimberly, because he has been waiting. Is that okay?
Okay, yeah.
Are you okay for a sec? Pincho, your last chance, mate, before we go on to Kimberly. Time to shine, mate. Hello, Jeff Swig. Jeff Swig. Do you mean Jeffrey Dahmer? Who is Jeff? Just out of interest. No, Pincho's still silent. Kimberly, do you want to tell us your story, sweetheart? Welcome. Are you a stream virgin as well?
I am, yeah.
Well, we'll break you in gently, love, if we can all welcome our Kimberly. You recently subbed to my other channel, didn't you, darling? So you're quite new to the other channel, is that right?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I love the animals. I'm really nervous.
Oh, don't be nervous, darling. Trust me, if I can sit here and talk shit for a few hours, then anyone can. Thank you so much for being here and for supporting me on the other channel and on here. So what was you saying then about your picture frames were moving or something? Is that right?
No, this is there's two actually, but I'll tell you just one tonight. That it happened when I was on holiday. We went. I was quite young. I was on holiday with my parents, and we went to Jersey and the Channel Islands.
I've always wanted to go there. Is it nice?
It's really nice, yeah. And we were driving down a country lane, which sounds like you said you were. And so they were like,
really?
Yeah.
No way. Wow.
Yeah.
When was this? Sorry, darling. How long ago?
It was 80s, so it's a long time ago.
So it was okay. So ours was like 97. So it was before that then. Okay.
Yeah, and so I was sitting in the back seat, and my mum and dad were in the car in the front, and my mum shouted, "Stop! Stop the car!" And my dad kind of squealed to a halt.
Was it on the
said,
same road?
"What's wrong?" No, I don't think so.
This was the road between, the big caravan parks.
Yeah.
Do you remember? My voice is going. Do you remember Sandy Glade? I don't know if you know. I don't know what it's called now. And then there was another one along, and it was the biggest one. And it was between. Oh, what was it called? Gosh, it was. Deep into Breen, and you can go and you can't go any further, can you? Or do you not remember?
I don't really remember.
Oh, okay. I'm thinking if you've seen this in Breen, it was the same. I bet it was the same ghost. Carry on. Sorry.
But I just, because I wasn't very old, so I just remember the road and my mum saying, "Stop the car," like out of the blue, and I jumped, and then my dad was saying, what's wrong? And she said, "Oh, you nearly hit them." So I looked behind me thinking I could see out the back window if someone was hurt, and there was no one there. And my dad got out the car, and my mum said that she'd seen somebody, but they'd thrown themselves into the hedge to avoid the car. So that's all I remember. But it's when you were talking about it, and I thought, oh God, that sounds the same thing.
Could you ask your mum?
Oh.
Hello, Pincho. Could you ask your mum? Is your mum still?
Yeah.
Could you ask her out of interest if she remembers? Sorry, one sec, Pincho. Sorry, mate. Could you ask her when you speak to her, just out of interest, if she knows whereabouts that was? Because that would be so interesting. To find out whereabouts, because that road, it goes green down, is a massive hill, and the road stops at that hill. You can't go any further. So there's one road in and one road out, so it's got to be on that road. But I'd love to know whereabouts if she can remember.
I'll ask.
Yeah, that's just really, she might not remember, but she probably will remember where she was staying. There was a big Pontins there that a lot of people went to. So interesting. That's really awesome. Thank you so much, Kimberly. If you've got any more stories, you're welcome to stay after Pincho.
Maybe next time. Maybe I'll.
Oh, okay. Well, you've done really well. I know it's nerve-wracking. So thank you so much.
Okay.
Oh, well, do you know how to leave? Oh, she's gone. Can we all just thank Kimberly? She'd never done it before, and I know how nerve-wracking it is. And Kimberly, I remember my first time on a panel, and it happened to be a panel that had like 10 people on who were all arguing and fighting, and I'll never forget it. And it was not very nice. But I've always vowed that after that experience of mine about 5 years ago, I will make sure that anyone that's new never has to feel like that. So that is why I'm so always supportive of people. I try and make a bit of a joke, you're a virgin. It's just a bit of a joke because it breaks the ice. Right then, we've got Pincho back, and I think we now have, yes, we can hear you. Yay!
Yeah, I fixed it.
Oh, so what happened? Did you unplug something?
I'm not used to this, and when I changed my mic around, when I turned myself off earlier, it just lost my mic and I couldn't get it back. But I've got it back now.
Oh, well, brilliant that you've now, it's your time. We've got nobody else up, so you've knocked yourself out, mate. You've got 10 minutes.
Right. So this is about the tarot cards, right?
Yes. So no one else call in now. Sorry, just want to say we're going to be ending this with Poncho. So I'm going to take the link away now. So if you missed tonight, we'll be doing another one. Don't worry, we do these regularly. So don't, if you missed out, we'll be back probably next week. So carry on. Sorry, Pincho.
So years ago, when I didn't used to work, right, I used to take my tarot cards out with me because I can read the tarot cards, and I used to go into the nightclubs and meet people and that. And I'd say, like, if you want me to read your tarot cards, all you've got to do, just buy me a drink, and that's all you have to do,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So I get free drinks, like. And I didn't know the people who I used to meet, so it'd be like strangers. So I wouldn't know anything about them or
So
anything.
did you
like
actually
this.
have a gift, or was you having a bit of a, were you a bit of a
Well, I'm
scammer
good.
back in the day?
I'm really good at reading the
Okay.
tarot cards. And
No, I just asked because we've all done things for money back in the day, and you could have been having a bit of a, getting a
yeah,
drink, and I'll just do this. So you genuinely are psychic
well,
then?
I didn't believe in it at first when I
Yeah,
first got them, but as I
yeah,
did it more, right, and
yeah,
things started to turn out true, then I
yeah,
started to believe in them more, right? But people would say, well, what if you just read a general story that will work for anyone? So they'll say, like, oh, you must be making up a story, but
yeah.
it's going to work for nearly anyone you talk to, right? So but this is how I proved it was real, right? This is how I did it. I got some people in and I said, I've never met you before, right? Don't talk to me at all. You don't have to say anything, just answer me, like, but don't tell me anything about yourselves. And all you got to do is buy me a drink, and that's it, right? So I start to look at the cards and I'm shuffling and looking at them, right? And I'm putting them down and I'm thinking to myself, this doesn't make any sense to me at all, right? And I said to them, I don't understand this, what I'm looking at here, but I'm going to just say the words that's coming into my head, right? But it probably won't make any sense to you at all. And I said, the cards are saying you're going to meet your family for the first time. And I thought, well, that doesn't make any sense, but this is what it says. You're going to meet your family for the first time.
So
right?
so you were reading somebody in the pub, yeah?
Yeah, and I didn't know them, and this didn't even make any sense. And I said, "You're going to meet your family for the first time," and they looked shocked, right? And they went away, and they didn't come back for about 20 minutes. And then they came back and got me a drink. And then they sat down and they said, we need to tell you something, right? And this is like Joanne, and she was fostered, and we've been looking for a family, right?
No.
And we came here today just to speak to you because we've heard you're good and we want to see what you'd say. And we was like in total shock when you said that. We couldn't believe it.
Wow.
And like I couldn't even understand what I was saying. It didn't make any sense. But when they told me that she was looking for a family and she'd got a letter, right, that said she might meet a family in about 2 weeks' time, it all made sense then. But that proves it's not a story that will work for anyone, because this story would only work in this one
Yeah.
situation.
But so just
Yeah.
out of interest then, when you say you were told that a story will work for anyone, genuinely, like, honestly, did you
That's
really
what
get
it
that
says.
from the card, or did you actually have a basic story? I know you said
Now, when you look at the cards, you've got so many words you can choose from, right? Family,
yeah.
friends. And I was just looking at the cards, and all I could get was, you're going to meet your family, because they're like the family cards and this, that, and the other. And it just said,
Yeah.
like, you're going to meet your family. So I just said
Wow.
it.
That's
And I
crazy.
didn't even know what I was saying. It didn't make sense.
And
But it worked.
and did it work on any other occasions? Because you said that
I
they were
did
there
lots.
for you. You
Yeah,
must
I
have
did
been
lots of
saying,
readings that were amazing. I did really good readings, I was
wow,
good
that's.
at it.
Do you still do them now, or
I don't do them now because I'm working, but
yeah,
when I'm not working and I want to get a drink, I'll
yeah?
read the tarot cards.
I don't blame you. Hello, Dad. That's a really, really cool thing to do, because you're not asking for money as such, are you? You're just like, you're
No,
doing them a
I
favor.
just say, like, because like, don't money to cross paths with me. Like, I'm not
Yeah,
asking
yeah.
for money. Just get a drink and that's
Get
it.
us a
Like,
drink. Yeah. Oh
yeah.
wow, that's amazing, mate. That's so cool. You've definitely got a gift then. So yeah, the thing with the altar and that. Just out of interest, have you ever seen a UFO?
I seen years and years ago when the moon landing was going off and everything. I seen all these things whizzing around the moon, red dots going round and
Oh,
round the moon. Yeah, and I told everyone, and nobody believed me, right?
when was that?
And
69, the
this was
moon.
I was about 9, so it was about 1972. about that.
The fake moon landing. I don't believe we went to the moon.
Yeah, wherever it was. Yeah.
Yeah,
And I've seen these red lights going round and round the moon, right? There's loads of them,
Was
right?
this after? Sorry, can I just ask you? Was this during the moon landing, or was this just
Well,
after? Just before?
it was about 1972. So I don't know exactly.
When
It's
did the
near.
moon landing happen?
It was near it.
69, was it?
Yeah. Yeah. So it'd be a couple of years after it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And nobody believed me, right? And then the next day it was on the news, right? Yeah. And they said that all these red dots had been seen by loads of people going around the moon. And what they said was NASA were taking photos of the moon with flash cameras, right? But I'm thinking, why would you want a flash camera? Like if you're miles away from the moon and it's whizzing around the moon, why would you use a flash camera on the moon? The flash would take ages to.
And you wouldn't see it.
Yeah, and it'd take ages to hit the moon and bounce back off again, would it? You wouldn't get a very good photo like that.
That's a good question. Kimberly asks, do you mean you've seen it on the TV or with your naked eye actually looking?
No, I was looking out the kitchen window at the moon, and we could see these red dots. Me and my mum,
like, because it does come out in the day, doesn't it?
It was pitch black. And I was with my mum. My mum called me in. She says, "Look at this, Paul." And I went in there. Well, that's my real name, Paul, right?
You've just doxed yourself. It doesn't matter.
I've
we
just
don't know
done
what
myself.
your surname is or anything.
Yeah. And she says, "Come and look at this." And I looked, and I was looking up the moon, and all these red dots whizzing around the moon. I thought, "Oh my God, what's that?" But they said it was NASA taking photos, but I'm not sure.
Did you believe that?
I don't think they'd use a flash camera, and you'd have seen it before because they must have took other photos of the moon since then. That can't be just the once.
Yeah, exactly. Do you know what I reckon? Like, a lot of people say we went to the moon, right? I've got two theories, and they're only theories. I'm not pretending to know everything. And this is what people say we did definitely went or we definitely didn't go. Nobody knows. It's from Cannock Chase. Bex, welcome, by the way. You're from Cannock Chase, aren't you?
I am, yeah.
Yeah. I'm from Sutton Coldfield, but I've lost my accent a bit. Can you still hear it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I thought you was quite local because your accent's similar a bit. You've got kind of that accent.
It's not as strong now because I've been left in the West Midlands for 12 years, but you can still hear it a bit, can't you? But when I go home, my family think I sound weird, but up here, people think I sound weird. I sound weird everywhere. So anyway, Snoop Dogg. Okay, bye Snoop Dogg. Okay, we're on a paranormal stream. I've got two theories. One is that we never went, we never planned to go, and it was all filmed by Stanley Kubrick, which is quite a popular theory. But another theory I have heard, and I haven't quite decided what, is that we did try and go. This could explain what you've seen. We tried to go, and we got so far, and aliens or whatever lives on the moon, if anything lives on the moon, actually attacked and pushed, attacked us, and we had to go. We didn't ever get there, and that could explain what these lights were, because they could be patrolling the moon after that happened. Now, does anybody remember? Now, I don't think I was alive then. I weren't born until 1980. But didn't the moon ring in the 70s? And they said that there was actual ringing coming from the moon. Does anybody remember
They crashed a ship into the moon, they said, and it rang like a bell.
Which is bullshit, in my opinion.
Because it's supposed to be hollow or something, and it rings. So
I agree with Nicola that it's transparent. I don't believe. Now, I genuinely don't believe that the moon is what they say it is. It's whatever it is. It controls our tides. It controls mood. Like my bunnies, when it's a full moon, a few days before the full moon, they are dry humping each other. Now they're neutered, so they shouldn't be having these feelings. But when there's a full moon coming, we know, because they act crazy. So whatever the moon is, it controls tides, mood, animals. And I believe personally that it's like some sort of control station, because surely you'd see the other side in the end, wouldn't you? You'd see Like,
I think NASA, right? Once they said we're going to go to the moon, right? They've set themselves a target, and
yeah.
if they can't do it, they're going to be embarrassed. So I think they just made it up because they was embarrassed they couldn't do it.
And he
So
also wanted to be big against the Russians because there was like a
yeah,
space race, weren't there? And they were
yeah.
trying to like big up the, you know, say. But I'm not. It, many say it is transparent because you can sometimes see through it, right? You can. When you only see half a moon, you can that doesn't, like, no one can anyone explain to me why. Because when you only see a bit of a moon, you're actually seeing through it. That's what you're seeing. And if you look at like Turkish flag, it's like a half moon and a star, like you can see through it to the star behind it. That there's
Well,
no way.
I've seen on NASA they take photos on the moon and they make films, and it's
It's all
always the
right.
same. It's always the same mountain wherever they are.
Yeah.
Even if they're in a different location, the background is always the same mountain every time. You know.
Yeah, and
So
if you look at the Mars rover, it's actually Devon Island from Canada. If there's videos, right, where, and I put one on my channel some time ago, and I don't know if it's still up, but I can find it if it's not. And it's literally the rover on Mars. I call it the golf buggy driving around on Mars. And then you've got Devon Island, which is in Canada, and it's the same down to all the rocks. And you just
and
put a red filter over it, and
do you know
that's
what
the
else?
same.
Do you know what else, right? If
What?
you landed on the moon, right, and you've got the spacemen on the moon, the
Yeah.
first thing you would want to do is film the fat spacemen in front of the Earth, because that would be a
Of course you would.
spectacular film that everybody would love. And they didn't do it. Why wouldn't they do that? Because they would.
Yeah, exactly. And there's no images of Earth apart from one they took in the
One,
70s.
and it had a square around it.
There's a square around it because Photoshop weren't as good in them days. Well,
Yeah.
we didn't have Photoshop, but they did because they're always ahead of us. Thank you, Julie Love. They're always ahead of us by about 30 years. So if we have Adobe or we have Photoshop now, then 50 years ago, whenever it was, 60 years ago, they would have had a very basic version of what
Yeah.
we
I mean,
had.
why would the Earth have a square around it? Doesn't even make any sense.
No, it doesn't. And the thing is, all they've got to do, if the Earth looks like that, and if they're standing on the moon, they could just zoom in they could say, right, okay, we're going to pick someone and we're going to zoom in and take a picture through the window. They could do it's all lies. The whole thing is lies. And no matter what you believe, I think, I don't want to go on about too much, but I think that whether we are living in a matrix or whether we are on a level plane or whether we hollow, they're not telling us the truth.
No.
And
Well,
I don't like to think of myself as a flat earther because I don't know what it is.
it could be a
All right.
computer program.
It could be a computer program. All I know is that water finds its level and water wouldn't stick to a ball. That's all I'm going to say. Oh, thank you, Alyssa. We haven't done a flat earth stream for a long time, so we should have one, and it's a good debate, but people get angry and start arguing, and I don't like that. Hello, JT.
I'm not a flat earther.
No, well,
No.
it's to me, it's more about not what we're on, it's what we're not on.
Yeah.
So why does NASA lie? Why do they lie about driving a golf buggy around Mars? Why do they lie about going to the moon? If they're lying about one thing, they could be lying about another thing. We don't know, David Banner. We don't know. Like the story earlier, what Jay told could have been a glitch in the Matrix. And there's been quite a few glitches in the Matrix, which would stand up for the Matrix theory.
I have an idea that we are in a computer program. It's based on my birthday, right?
Oh, right.
Because I was born in 1963, right?
Yeah.
And the first computer game that came out was 1972, right? Which was Pong. Yeah, that's Pong, that tennis one. Why would I be? Yeah, so my birthday makes me 9 when Pong comes out, which is the perfect age, right, to play Pong, right?
Yeah.
And Pong is the first beginning to computer simulations, because that's how they began, right? If you was in a computer simulation and you wanted to start at the very beginning and put somebody into the simulation right at the beginning, right? Put them near Pong, because that is the beginning of computer simulation. Yeah. So my birthday, I'm 9 when Pong comes out. My birthday is perfect timing to play Pong. And if the sun lasts for 7 billion years, right? I could be born any time now for 7 billion years. My birthday could be any date for 7 billion years, but it was just the exact date, 1963, for me to be 9 when Pong came out, which is odds 7 billion to 1, which is unbelievable.
Yeah, it's crazy. It is weird. It is really weird. I don't know whether I don't want to go on about this too much because I know it's paranormal, but I don't know whether you guys watch Black Mirror, right? But Black Mirror on Netflix, it had a 5-year break. Hello, MJ, and I thought that it was ended. It's come back on Netflix. If you haven't watched Black Mirror, I recommend it. Now, the first story on there, I don't want to give away too much, but it's like at the 6th episode, and it's like, it's a bit like, do you remember the Twilight Zone? Different stories that with a twist. And the one I watched last night, the first one, was absolutely amazing. Have you been watching it, Julie? And I don't want to give too much away, but if you watch the first episode, it would explain what I'm on about with the Matrix thing. And
I like Black Mirror.
Isn't it? Have you watched the new ones yet?
I haven't seen the new ones. I've
you
watched
got
some of the
Netflix?
older ones.
It only came on the other day. Oh, really? That's a shame. Hello, Realise. How you doing, Dan? Realise. Real Lies. I love your name.
I'm a big fan.
Joan is awful. Yes. You're a big fan. It's brilliant. It's really good.
Do you know Carl Pilkington? He's really funny. He's on YouTube.
He did that show, didn't he?
Yeah. Do you know some of them Black Mirror episodes are based on Carl Pilkington's stories? Did you know?
Really?
Yeah. They're based on some of his stories. Yeah. It's true.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. That he tells on YouTube. If you watch some of them, you'll see the same story.
I mean, what he's written, or is he saying his experience? I'm glad you enjoyed it, Sam.
Like when he was talking to Ricky Gervais and all that with Steve Merchant, he used to tell a lot of stories, Carl did, about going back in time and being young again and everything. They copied them stories off him and used them in that Black Mirror. The exact same stories.
Yeah, that's nuts. I didn't know that. I really didn't know that.
Yeah, it's good.
Right.
I love that series, though. It's really good. I haven't seen the new ones.
Do you remember The Outer Limits as well? I used to love that as well, The Outer Limits.
And the Twilight Zone. Yeah, Twilight Zone and all that. Like those stories. I always fancied writing stories like that when I was a kid.
Well, Al will tell you, my other half. Hello, Luffy Jubbly. The dreams that I have, right? I have the most vivid, crazy dreams ever. I never have a normal dream. They range from the most horrific nightmare to the most bizarre dream. They're never normal. And sometimes I'll tell Al what I've dreamt, and he'll say to me, it's not like based on anything you've ever heard. And you could make horror movies out of them. You could make sci-fi. And he always says to me, you need to write them down and write a book, and you could literally make a series on your dreams because they're so insane. And I haven't watched the third one yet from the Black Mirror. I think I just was about to start it. But the first one, the second one, I worked it out. Oh, no, I have watched the third. I don't know. I worked it out, but it's like my dreams. They're that crazy. Like, we should do a dream night as well.
I've got a great story about a dream as well.
Go on then.
You want me to tell my story about a dream, right? I had this long dream because I was writing to a pen pal and this girl, right? And we was going to start dating, but we hadn't met yet. And I was going to meet her the next day. And the day before I met her, I had this dream that I was going to meet her. And I was on the train and I was looking out the window and I saw this field with a scarecrow. And then later I was in a tunnel and I seen a poster on the wall with these men in black black costumes and everything. And then
Yeah.
I just kept dreaming on and on in this dream until I got to the very end of the dream, and there was a carousel, you know, with the horses on, right?
Mm.
And it was in a room, right? And that was the end. And then I woke up. And when I met this girl in London, because I've never been to London either, so I met this pen pal in London, and I went on the train and I passed this scarecrow. This is happening in real life now after the dream. And I passed this scarecrow and I thought, oh, that's weird. That was in my dream. And then I see the poster in the tunnel with the black men on the poster and everything, right? And I said to this pen pal I'd met, I said, everything I dreamed last night has happened today, except for the carousel in the room. And I said, I haven't seen that yet. That's the last thing that happened. And I said, if we see that, right, it'll freak me out completely. And we went in Harrods, and there was a carousel in Harrods in the room.
Wow.
Wow, yeah. What's the chance of that?
Do you know what? You sound like that's what I do. I'll dream stuff.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's freaky, isn't it? It's like
Yeah.
Al will tell you, I freak him out with these weird things, with the dreams. But you do sound very, very in tune. So next time you come on, try and remember some. You've probably got more ghost stories, haven't you? Don't
Yeah.
tell all us now because you can come back. So try and remember if
Yeah.
the ghost stories, and then when we do another call in next week, I might do it on Sunday again. I'll see. Either
Yeah.
Sunday or Friday. When are you free? Are you free on Sunday?
I haven't looked at my timetable. I could click it up actually.
You haven't
hold
looked
on.
at your little black book. See how
My
busy you are.
my work timetable changes every week. Hold on.
Oh, does it? Have a look.
Yeah.
Let us know because
Sunday. Day off. 22.
yay!
Yeah,
Right.
day off.
Get some stories for us, and then we'll do this next week. And then everyone who didn't get to call in tonight for whatever reason, whether you were busy or whether you were a bit nervous, or we've run out of time, then call in next week and we'll do this again. I hope you've all enjoyed it, but I'm going to end it now. We've been going over 2 hours. So I really, 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 really enjoyed tonight. It was so awesome. Did you enjoy it, Pincho?
Yeah, I mean, I've usually, I'm not used to talking on the internet and all that.
Oh.
I don't even use phones. I haven't even got a mobile phone, right? I've never even used a mobile phone.
I think you don't blame you.
No, because I'm a bit nervous talking on speakers and all that.
What are you on a
Yeah.
laptop then? How are you?
I'm on a PC now. I've got a
Right,
speaker
you sound very
here.
clear. You sound really
Yeah.
good. So it's been brilliant. Thank you. Right, I'm going to end this now. And I want to say a massive thank you to all of our callers tonight. What's this? And thank you everybody for calling in. We can all thank Pincho. I think Pincho got the freakiest story of the night with his Satanism. We are going to be doing a bit of a deep dive into that mill because it looks really creepy. And
Yeah.
thank you to everybody. Yeah, where did you get your name? Says Dr. David Bull. Thank you, James.
Pincho Paxton, right?
Yeah.
My friend said he said that when I was young, I had a fight with somebody called Pincho Paxton, so he called me that, but I don't remember.
That's funny. That's
Yeah.
hilarious. Right, guys, thank you so much. I'm going to end this now and watch Black Mirror episode 3 with Al. Thank you so much, and don't know when I'll be live next. Depends. I might be live tomorrow if the weather's nice. We're going out next week as well. So Friday we're going to a home ed day out to go and see some puffins. So I'll be either filming or streaming depending on the signal. So we are trying to get out and about more, but I'll probably be streaming either tomorrow or Tuesday. And I hope you've all enjoyed it. Please hit the like or the dislike if you don't like what we do. Won't be offended. But it's been lovely and I've really enjoyed it. So thank you so much. And our members on the other channel, thank you for everything you do as well. Really, really helpful and support us. Right.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It was good.
Oh, I'm glad, Pincher. I'm glad, and especially if you don't really get to talk to people much apart from at work. It's good to have friends, isn't it? Even though we can't physically be in the room with each other, we are all friends. Do you know what I mean? And we all get to talk to each other and share experiences. And we may not have without the internet, we probably never have met each other. But yet, we've probably got more in common than somebody who you know in real life, if that makes any sense. I've got more in common with you lot than some of my friends, because they're not into paranormal, or they're not into bunnies, or so it's lovely. I think it's great. We've got a lovely community over here and on the other channel. But do you know how to leave? Do you want me to click you down?
Yeah, but just say hello to Ninny Wig, right?
Oh yeah,
I love that Ninny Wig.
Isn't
great.
he amazing, Ninny?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it should be guinea pig. Jack couldn't say guinea pig. His name is Snoopy, but no. When we got him, he used to go, "He's a ninny wig," and I was like, "No, it's guinea pig," and he couldn't say it, and it's just stuck. And now Ninny thinks his name is Ninny Wig. So if you call Snoopy, you don't get a response. You go,
I like
Ninny.
the way he keeps trying to get through that hole in the fence.
So naughty.
Yeah.
He's dug a hole and he can't get out the other side, but he can get in the middle, and he's getting further and further in. And he's now got this thing about going under the shed, and he got under the shed again, but we haven't been out today because it's raining. So he's in a bit of a mood. He's been squeaking at me all day because he wants me to take him outside. But I says it's raining. And Oscar, the giant French lop, has been with his paws up against the window in the bedroom, looking out the window, waiting for it to stop raining because he wants to go outside. It's hilarious. Anyway, thank you, everybody. I'll see you all very, very soon. Lots of love. Take care. Good night, Poncho. I'm going to click you down. Bye-bye. Lots of love. Night.
Bye.
Right. So God bless everybody. Thank you for joining us. Please hit the like if you haven't. And I'll see you all very soon. Thank you. And our moderators as well do a fantastic job. And you don't even get paid for it. So I really appreciate that. Thank you, everybody. Night. God bless. Bye.